and WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia.
Mike Missanelli show on the air. And we got a big game on Sunday, and we're going to just kill it today with analysis and the shenanigans and back and forth with the people. The Steelers are pretty good, but they're in trouble. And I'm going to tell you why. Because of what happened this week. When something like this, with the A.J. Brown, Jaylen Hurts, BG, well, all that controversy happened this week, that has a tendency, in my view, to galvanize the team. And I think this team now is going to use that as an impetus to really play well on Sunday. And I think the line reflects that. They're a serious favorite against a really good team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have won 7 of their last 8. The Steelers, this is a really weird stat. They have also not won in Philadelphia since 1965. That's 10 straight games. Now, I don't know what that means because every team is different, so it probably doesn't mean a lot, but it is pretty weird. So let's get into the A.J. Jaylen thing. It's pretty much simmered down, and, you know, people are saying, the media's blown it up and everything's cool because, those guys said it was cool. And you know, BG just being BG, Brown said. He's emotional. In that case, he just misspoke. Me and Jaylen are good. Now, maybe they're not good, but it really doesn't matter if they're not good because what this thing kind of does is it gets everybody on the same page. It's like, okay, we know that the wide receivers aren't happy with not getting the ball, so let's get them the ball. All right, let's make it a point to get them the ball, and let's move on with this whole thing. I really think it's the worst thing that could happen to the Steelers, what happened last week. Now, let's go into the X's and O's of this game. The Steelers are pretty good against the running backs. They only allow 4.0 yards per carry. That's 7th in the league. Now, that doesn't take into consideration what Hurts is going to do to them when he gets out of the pocket or on some design runs. And the Steelers' pass defense is really pretty good. 2nd in the league in rating against the pass. Completion percentage, 7th. So, if this is a game where Jaylen Hurts has to use his arm, then he has to use his arm. But I think they're going to be extra engaged in getting the ball to the wide receiver. So I don't have a worry about that either. Now, this is a big test, just like it was against the Ravens. Well, this might be a game where Jaylen has to use his arm. This is probably a game where he has to use his arm. And so we're going to get another test. And if he doesn't use his arm that well, that opens up the talk avenue for he's not good enough. He can't win a Super Bowl without him passing well. So in a lot of ways, this is a really big test for the Philadelphia Eagles. Thirdly, I hate Pittsburgh. I'm going to tell you right now, having gone to Penn State and meeting people from Pittsburgh, I hate their accent. I hate their obnoxiousness. They're a wannabe city and a wannabe sports town. And they're like, well, what are you talking about, wannabe sports town? We got the Steelers, and you got the Penguins. And that's all you got. And your city has been completely jealous of Philadelphia for decades. And so this is an inferior city team that's coming. And I invite all Pittsburgh Steeler fans, most of whom have relocated to civilization from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia, I would like them to call it out right now and come on the line and tell me how good your team is, how good your city is. I want to hear all this because I've heard it over the years, time after time after time. Well, all you Yinzers and all you people that don't pronounce consonants, I can't stand it anymore, all right? So I need the Pittsburgh Yinzers, the people with accents, to call in today. And, in fact, we're going to reach out to Pittsburgh. We're going to make a couple of calls. You know, in the old days of radio, you make calls and they don't know they're on the air. Well, now you have to let them know they're on the air. So later in this show, we are going to call Primanti brothers because that's all you hear. When I was at Penn State, people from Philadelphia go, what the hell's that? What is that sandwich? What is that, white bread with coleslaw and French fries? And we got a cheesesteak here that we're wolfing down? And you're going to compare that sandwich to this? So we're gonna call Primanti brothers today, and we're going to have a little fun with whoever answers. All right? Does that sound good? We have Bill Colarulo here. We have Ray Dunn here. I hate Pittsburgh. Go ahead, Bill.
I can tell. So that'll be fun. Excuse me, a little bit later on in the show. See, you talked a little bit about this matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you mentioned the Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown drama, and could this galvanize the team? Here's what my concerns are going into Sunday. When A.J. Brown made those comments after the game passing, and then it blew up, it's now put a spotlight on this passing offense, something that we already were concerned about, and now it's become an even bigger issue because it was brought to the attention of everybody with those comments. And we've talked about it before. Jalen Hurts in the first 4 games, when they leaned on him to throw the ball a lot, 33 pass attempts a game, he had 4 interceptions. And then over the last 9 that they've won, only 21 pass attempts, he only has 1 interception. If they try to throw the ball this week, my concern is that you're not only going up against a Steelers defense that's pretty decent against the pass with all those stats you mentioned, they also are top 3 in the NFL in interceptions. So my concern is if they come out and they make a concerted effort to say, we're going to try to throw the football because we need to fix the passing offense, and Jalen throws a couple of picks, I think the noise is even louder next week that there's problems with this passing offense. So I am a little bit concerned. As much as I want to see them get the ball to AJ and fix the passing offense, I'm not sure that this is the week to really try to do it.
You're kind of missing my point here. They're not going to go away from what they do. There's no way that they're going to try to overthink it and try to pass the ball. I am talking about some timely passes early to get him involved. That's what I'm saying. It's like I preached last week. Get the guy involved so he is more active in the game. So he doesn't, you don't give him a chance to complain. Here, Devontae, get it to him early, short patterns, whatever you have to do. You don't have to change your style. Your style is your style. It's a winning formula, what you do right now. Just patronize the guy a little bit.
But you know Mike Tomlin and this Steelers defense is coming out with really one major focus. And it's going to be shut down Saquon Barkley, shut down the rushing attack. And if they are able to do that, and now the Eagles are forced to throw the ball a little bit more than maybe they even want to, and they don't do it effectively, what happens next week? The noise is going to be so loud.
Here's the question. You asked the question that I think is not going to happen.
Whether they could shut him down?
Yeah, like how many times have we said, well, if this team shuts down the Eagles running game, they're going to do it? Who has shut down the running game?
Nobody.
It's about as consistent as you can have. So you go whatever Tomlin does is still not going to work. Like what do you realistically think they're going to stop Saquon Barkley? Were they going to hold him to 50 yards?
Yeah, you're probably right.
So that's not even a worry of mine. But I think if you loosen them up early with a couple of slants to AJ, out pattern to Devontae, well, then they got to think a little differently. And that's for Saquon bust you for 40.
Yeah, you're probably right. And I don't know if they have the corners that can shut down these receivers. I mean, Joey Porter Jr. is good, but he's young. He's going to probably get some pass interference.
Oriented.
Yeah, pass interference calls. He's very
grabby.
physical. And you know if he goes up against AJ, it's going to be a physical matchup. He'll probably get some penalties there. But you also have to worry about not only the corners in the passing game, it's T.J. Watt and the defensive line.
Well, that's the thing. The defensive line in the rush on Hurts is going to be the key, which they know. Like they're not going to say, okay, I dare T.J. Watt to get to the quarterback. They're not going to do that, right? They're going to do what they do, which is to run the football. So we'll talk about all of this, but I really want to get some Steeler callers on the line. Now, you guys have been quiet for many years now, but now you've won 7 of 8. All the Steeler love is back. I know you guys are rabid football fans because the Steelers are in your blood, the Steelers. I should say. So I want to hear from you. 'Cause a lot of people like to try, in my past years talking to Pittsburgh people, a lot of people try to make the case that Pittsburgh is as good a city as Philadelphia. And I go like this. I go, I just give them a scoff.
Give us the.
I give them a scoff.
Give us the hand to the ground there.
Yeah, I get too small.
Too small.
Too small. And for years, that university out there has tried to, we're better than Penn State, or come on, man. Come on.
I got to be honest though.
Stay in your place. Stay in your lane with your woeful Pittsburgh Pirates every year.
I got to be honest with you. I mean, look, Pittsburgh's nowhere near Philly, as far as a city, but I've always enjoyed the people from Pittsburgh. I've gone to Pittsburgh for an Eagles game, and I was treated so kindly by the Pittsburgh Steelers fans. I don't have any anger or hatred or animosity towards Steelers fans at all. They don't bother me even one bit. Mike.
You didn't go to Penn State.
That's probably why. I went to Gettysburg, as they would say.
Penn State
in Pittsburgh.
is the Mason-Dixon line for Philadelphia and Pittsburgh.
So you got to experience it on a different level.
Obnoxiously every day, I experienced.
See, I never thought Steelers fans were obnoxious, though. They're obnoxious?
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Penguins fans right now? You don't think they're obnoxious?
I said Steelers fans.
Oh, well,
Penguins fans,
it's the same city.
Yeah, I guess you're correct.
And this is why I think there should be that rivalry every 4 years.
Yeah, see, I didn't have a problem with the Pirates or the Steelers. The Penguins, you're right, that's on a different level, mainly because of Sidney Crosby.
Because the Steelers are in the AFC. That's why you don't have that association with them, because they're like foreign.
Yeah, now you're making a good point. Maybe I should hate Steelers fans. Ray, do you hate Steelers fans?
I don't think I've had enough experience with the back and forth with them.
I'm still experiencing, like, Mean Joe Green comments. I mean, that was back in, last century, wasn't it? Oh, Mean Joe Green. Mean Joe Green, your sister. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli shows on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philadelphia.
Mike Missanelli show. We got some text. I knew Pittsburgh people would respond because I always love to tweak them. So let's go to the text board. What are the Pittsburgh people saying, Ray?
All right, let's start with Bob in Westchester. Mike, when's the last time you've been to the Berg? So much better than State College. # Hail to Pitt.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I know Pittsburgh has improved as a city. I've been there, and it's a lot better than it used to be because it used to just be smokestacks. But they've actually built a metropolitan city out there. It's just it's not Philly, and that's why people from Pittsburgh move to civilization here. Right?
It's a Cleveland suburb.
Right, or Youngstown, as they say. There's no W. A Pittsburgher can't
First
pronounce
on.
the W. Right. There's no W in the Pittsburgh language. All right, so let's. Notice this. I can sense a Pittsburgh accent. I need 5 seconds. That's how good I am at it.
Wait, hold on. So there's no W. Give me an example again.
Downtown.
It's a Pittsburgh Steelers first down.
Right, down. There it is. Downtown.
I don't know if I've experienced that.
You got to be kidding me. You haven't heard this?
Downtown?
Downtown. They don't pronounce W's.
My best friend growing up, his dad was from the Pittsburgh area. Everything's a first down.
And they never lose it. They never lose it ever. All right. So first of all, I'm referring to Pitt as a football program, the university. You don't know how many people they're so jealous of Penn State. They're always trying to make a case that they're on an even level. You know, the last time you were on an even level when you cheated your ass off and had Tony Dorsett and Dan Marino and Hugh Green and all these guys. You know why you had them there? Because you had Johnny Majors and Jackie Sherrill cheating their ass off to get players there. And if I'm lying, I'm dying.
Did they have Kenny Pickett,
Don't give me that.
Kenny Pickett's a Pitt guy, isn't he?
What did they ever do?
Nothing, but he's on the Eagles
That's what
now.
I mean. Well, when Pitt was a contender, they had Tony Dorsett, Hugh Green, Dan Marino. And how do you think they got those guys?
NIL money. Was there NIL money back then?
No, well, NIL money. It was Johnny Majors and Jackie Sherrill money.
I would say no.
That's what it was. So I've always been bitter about that, as you can tell. All right.
Yeah, you are a little bitter.
What else does the text board say?
All right, we got Stephen Hilton Head. From Philly, went to Pitt. Pitt is West Virginia with skyscrapers.
Now, listen. It's not quite that. There's a difference between Pittsburgh and Morgantown, West Virginia. And I've been to both cities many times. All right, that's
West Virginia with skyscrapers. Right, have you been to Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I was there this summer.
You went to the baseball game.
Yeah, I went Pirates Phillies this week.
So I remember
summer.
you left this show and got there by the first pitch, right?
Chicago, I made it by the first inning. Pittsburgh, I made it by the second inning.
Well, I used to get back with friends from to their home in Pittsburgh. So this was when before we were all 21. The drinking age in Pennsylvania was 21, obviously, but in Ohio, it was less. So we used to go to Youngstown, like cross a bridge and get into Ohio, but they didn't have regular alcohol beer. They had what was called 3.2 beer, which was 3.2% alcohol. So we used to drink this 3.2 beer. Now, I don't know if it's the same in Ohio, but, you know.
I don't know. See, I don't remember that. But there used to be.
Remember, you're a young guy. You went to Gettysburg. You had no experience in Pittsburgh whatsoever.
The only thing
you visited once as a lawyer. You went to a nice high-end restaurant, and you think it's a metropolitan city.
I went to an Eagles game there.
Oh, you went to an Eagles game?
I went to an Eagles
yeah.
game. I was treated very nicely. It was the year that they got crushed when the Eagles were 7-0, Steelers were 6-1, the TO season, and the Eagles went in there and got smoked by the Steelers. Wasn't even close. Steelers fans weren't rubbing it in. They were actually apologizing to me, saying, "Hey, we're sorry we came all the way here."
Really? Well, that was nice of them.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you in the Super Bowl.
Maybe I've misread them.
No. The Pirates fans this summer wanted a walk-off, and the Pirates fans were talking smack to the Phillies. At that point in the middle of July, where the Pirates had fallen off entirely and the Phillies were well above everyone in first place. I think you got a misrepresentation of that Pittsburgh fan base, Bill, in that one day.
You especially have a misrepresentation of their Penguins fan base. They are obnoxious.
Well, the
people.
Penguins And Sidney Crosby,
Yeah, they're
I can't stand.
totally obnoxious people when it comes to the Penguins because really that's their crowning glory. You know, when you think about it.
I know we're doing Eagles, but Ray, 4-1 victory last night. Ray, hit it. Fly guys, Michael. The Flyers. I said it to John Kincade as he was walking out. Playoffs. I think they're going to be a playoff team. But we'll get back to the Eagles.
No. Let's stay with this because now that you open that can of worms.
Fly guys.
With the Fly guys, why don't you tell the people how last night transpired for you?
All right.
I'm going to let you tell it. I'm not going to reveal it.
So I do need a ruling.
That's a violation.
Yeah, I need a ruling from our listeners here. And hopefully my wife is listening. So my wife is 34 weeks pregnant now. So we decided we were going to go to the Flyers game last night. She was going to try to go. We get through the first 2 periods of the game. It's a 1-0 game. And if you've been to the Wells Fargo, they're not the most comfortable seats. So she says to me at the intermission, second intermission of a 1-0 game, I got to go. This is just too uncomfortable. So I made the joke, you take the car, I'll take an Uber home, which I was kidding, but I left with my wife. And as we were walking out, I said, I hope nobody is seeing me right here. I feel like Howard Eskin dipping out early of a game. So no one saw me, but I'm admitting it on the air. The reason I left is because my wife is, and she's correcting me in the YouTube chat, 35 weeks pregnant. Is that a violation on my part, leaving a 1-0 Flyers game in the second period intermission? Or is it okay because she's 35 weeks pregnant? Michael?
I want to take the train home.
No, take the train.
No, I'm not.
Take the train. Listen, babe, it's a little cold, but walk to the Patco.
No, you got to go. You did the right thing.
I think I
did the wrong thing bringing her to the game in the first place, though.
Well, she loves going to the games. And we went a couple of weeks ago, and she was fine. We stayed the whole game. But in this instance...
You're not guaranteed.
Yeah, but
Now
a few
she's
weeks ago. It was
35
a few
pregnant.
weeks ago.
Well, that's
yeah.
what she said.
Yeah.
This is the last one she's going to until after the baby's born.
Yeah. You missed you're celebrating a victory you weren't even there for.
I know, I wasn't.
4 goals, man. And you can only claim to have seen one of them.
Well, 2 of them were empty netters.
What, for lots? Oh,
Yeah.
Lots. Can't stop. You can only hope to contain them.
Lots. Mikey Miz. Flyers talk. I love it. But I think they're going to the playoffs. Before the season, I said they're not a playoff team. They're just going to rebuild this year. They're playing some really good hockey.
Oh, man.
I would love for playoff hockey back in South Philly.
Flyer fever. 610-632-0975. We'll get back to our analysis of Pittsburgh as a city, as a team, what the Eagles are going to do. I believe that what happened this week was so beneficial to the Eagles. Actually, they're going to crush the Steelers on Sunday. 610-632-0975. Pack show. Sirianni is coming on today. We'll hear him at 11:40. Our pick segment at 12:30. McManis at 1 o'clock. And we're going to make a call to Primanti brothers at 11:30. Don't go away on the Mike Missanelli Show back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Focusing on football, I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by PayPal. Get exclusive cashback offers in the app and with the PayPal debit card. Stack 5% more in your chosen monthly category up to $1,000 in purchases. Don't just pay. PayPal. As the week of Jaylen Hurts and A.J. Brown comes to an end, the Eagles get set to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Battle of Pennsylvania Sunday at 4:25 on Fox at Lincoln Financial Field. After all the drama this week, Jordan Mailata preached that his focus is on the Steelers.
Yes. We are moving on. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers this week, not the A.J. Brown and Jaylen show.
All right, well, the game on Sunday gives the Eagles an opportunity to win their 10th straight game, which would which would be the franchise record. Tonight in South Philly, the 76ers host the Pacers at 7 o'clock. Sixers have won 4 of 5. They'll be without Adembona and Caleb Martin tonight. You can hear the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And last night, Flyers won 4-1 over the Red Wings behind 4 goals from Scott Lawton. They'll be back in action tomorrow in Minnesota against the Wild. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I don't know what it is. The way they advertise it, Pennsylvania Tourist Organization, maybe community organization, whatever they're doing there. I told you yesterday that they're advertising this as the best showdown ever, and I'm thinking like the evening drive show here at 97.5, the Fanatic. That's either a tribute to them or that's copyright violation infringement.
It could be. When I was
I think they ripped it right off.
When I was driving 95 last night to the game, they have billboards with that on it too. So it is everywhere.
I think it's a blatant ripoff.
It could be copyright infringement. We'll look into it. Were you a copyright attorney? I wasn't. I never did.
I had copyright law.
You did some copyright stuff?
No, but I had it. I took the class. Yeah, I did a summer class with copyright law.
So wait, how many years did you go to law school? Did you go at night?
It was 4.
Because you were still working at the paper.
I was working full time at the Inquirer. 4 years, night classes, and Saturday morning class from 9 to 12:15.
So you talk about a summer class. I told you I studied abroad in Rome.
Yeah.
So I took classes there, 3 classes. The easiest
What a
classes.
flimsy program this is.
I mean, it was.
My God.
Studying wine.
Well, one of them was.
Let's go to Rome and have a class.
We did European Union law, but then the other one was literature and the law, and we read like Billy Budd and like different literature books that included stuff about the law. I mean, it was a
You read literature?
pretty awesome class.
You read one literature book?
Yeah, that was our class. And then we had to talk about it. And you only went to school, it was like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Did you not have retention from that literature?
I don't remember it at all. I don't even remember what Billy Budd was about. I got to be honest with you. Because you went to school 3 days, and then I would travel Italy the rest of like the 4-day weekend.
What was Billy Budd about, Ray? According to Seinfeld. Billy Budd had unbridled enthusiasm. You remember that?
I forgot about that one.
Yes.
Yeah, I had no idea. So Billy Budd is a handsome sailor who strikes and inadvertently kills his false accuser, the master at arms.
Yeah, he had to Google that. He read it in Rome.
I did.
But
I had to Google
He
it.
has no recollection of it.
There's not
Zero.
a chance he remembers anything school-wise that happened in Rome.
Absolutely nothing. I don't remember anything about European Union law either.
Temple law, right?
You buy the Cliff Notes in Italian?
I probably did. But it was great. You only went to school like 3 days, and then you could travel Italy the rest. So I got to see the entire country.
Temple law, right?
Did you actually pay for that?
Yeah.
Or did they get...
No, we had to pay.
You had to,
Of course.
Jesus.
Everyone that
great.
studied abroad at Temple Rome had a fantastic time.
Oh, it was phenomenal, man. It was a
I was
phenomenal.
in college through the pandemic, so my abroad opportunities were.
Well, because, Temple Rome for undergrads was a semester. Temple Rome for the law school was a summer program. I almost went to Tokyo, too, because Temple has a...
I was supposed to go to Tokyo for the 2020 Olympics.
Yeah, I was supposed to
Pandemic.
do an entire semester
Listen to you
abroad
snobs.
of law school in Tokyo. It was just way too expensive. Like, my student loans would have been
Oh,
through
yeah,
the roof.
I've studied abroad. Come on.
Studied a couple of them.
Oh, hit the rim shot for you. Every time I made a joke yesterday, Ray would hit the rim shot, make it that much cornier.
Oh, it's so bad.
That much cornier.
But wait, can we talk about you going to break first?
Oh my God, Mike. I haven't sat in the main seat in a while, right? I'm usually here, so you get us in and out of the breaks.
Yeah.
I'm going to break yesterday. It was like I was leaving a voicemail. I'm like, all right, talk to you soon. It was like I was leaving. Yeah, keep it here. Me, Amy, and Ray. Talk to you soon. Click.
All right, let's go back to the text board. A.J. Brown text. I want to hear some A.J. Brown text.
All right, let's start.
I like it. Now, the more I think about it, the more I like what happened this week. I really do.
Sunday is brewing up to be an A.J. Brown day. 8 receptions for 110 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Uh-huh.
Eagles 10-0 when A.J. Brown plays.
See?
Fly, Eagles,
There you
fly.
go. I think this is going to galvanize this team in many ways, including with the play calling. All right, what do I say? We have a text for Sirianni Love.
Yes.
We haven't heard that in a while. We may not hear it for a while.
Ralph from Pottstown. Hopefully AJ and Jaylen drama is laid to rest this weekend. I need some Sirianni love in my life.
Well, it is our Victory Monday song. But we didn't do it this Monday. See,
It didn't
I don't
feel right.
It didn't feel right, but maybe we need to just say if they win, they get it. If they win,
Well,
you
all he
get
does is
Sirianni.
win.
love.
So
Yeah, we played that. All he does is win. But people are now like they're so in the mood when they hear that commercial California Love comes on all the time, and
they asked for it.
people have substituted it. It was just like when I used to have my open for my show with the Kanye song.
Yeah, which one was it? What Kanye song?
Power. Mm-hmm. We play it.
We hear it a little bit.
Yeah, we hear it a little bit.
Yeah, it's like turning the radio dial.
But we used to have a whole verse done to that. My man, PR.
Yeah, it was changed. The lyrics were about you, right?
PR the Great rewrote lyrics. Yeah.
But
Mikey misses the Philly like Wycliffe is to Haiti, or like Haiti is to Wycliffe.
Love it.
Something like that.
Well, you just said something.
The line was.
Ray just said about all he does is win, and a topic that came up yesterday in relation to Jalen Hurts on the show. All he does is win. And I asked a question because some have pushed against this. Are wins a quarterback stat? Do you think that we should look at quarterbacks based off of wins and losses?
To a large extent, yes.
Because you would agree, though.
Listen, it's the most important position in sports. So, obviously, the quarterback is worth more to a win than anything else would be.
Yeah, so my opinion was it should be, but you could be a good quarterback and lose a lot of games because of your team. Yeah. But you're probably not a bad quarterback that's going to win a lot of games. You need to be a good quarterback to win for an extended period of time. Yeah. So Jaylen should get credit for the 45-19 record because I don't think if you're a bad quarterback, you're winning that many games.
The only exception to that is, and I'll have to go back to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh people can tell me, Terry Bradshaw, whose stats were very, very pedestrian. They were winning all those Super Bowls. What were they talking about? Were they talking about the quarterback, or what were they talking about?
The steel curtain.
That's exactly right.
Different era, though. I feel like in today's...
And Franco
Harris. I feel like in today's NFL, though, for you to win for an extended period of time, like I know they're the outliers, like Jimmy Garoppolo has won some games when he was surrounded by talent, but for you to win for an extended period of time, you got to be a good quarterback.
Yeah, you do. Frank in Mount Laurel joins us. Hello, Frank.
Hey, Mikey. Glad to have you back. I hope everything went well yesterday.
I got to be honest with you. I'm going to admit that I'm a little woozy. So if I sound a little gaga, it's because I still feel a little woozy.
All right, and real quick for Bill. I believe bringing any woman 35 weeks pregnant anywhere but the hospital is a violation.
But she wanted to go. I gave her the option. I said, do you want to go, or do you want me to ask somebody else? I was even thinking about bringing Ray Dunn, maybe. But she wanted to go.
It has the potential to go sideways at any time.
Yeah, I guess you're right, but we're okay.
So, real quick question, and hopefully maybe a couple follow-ups. Maybe you all can play along. So as far as Jalen Hurts goes, if you had to put him in a basket of good, very good, great, or elite, not future potential, but as he's constituted now, past performances up to now, what basket are you putting him in?
It's a good question. I'm probably going very good because of the win-loss record. Now, if you're asking me simply about his passing ability, I'm probably good.
Yeah, I'm at good.
You're a good.
Yeah, I'm not in very good. I'm at good.
Okay, so quick follow-up. So I'm going to ask Bill, who are your very good quarterbacks right now? You don't have to name them all. Just give me a couple.
Well, you got Josh Allen. Wait.
Josh Allen and Mahomes.
Josh Allen, I'd probably put in
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, but maybe they're elite, right? Are you asking who?
No, just there. You put Jalen in very good. Who are the other very good quarterbacks you putting in that basket with him?
Jared Goff, I'd put in there. Jordan Love, I would put in there. Matt Stafford, even though he's on the downside of his career. I would even put Brock Purdy, I think. I think I would even put Brock Purdy in very good. I think he runs that offense very well.
Okay. So you're a little bit different than me. I think I'm more in line with Mikey, where I'd put him in the good basket. Because I don't believe a very good quarterback, given the number one rushing attack in the league, the best offensive line, the best defense, top to bottom, and two excellent wide receivers, one in the top five. We're sitting here debating his confidence, his ability to read coverages, 32nd in the league or 30th in the league in passing. I don't think that's a conversation with a very good quarterback. I think we're talking about a game coming up against Pittsburgh with a very good quarterback, with a team constituted like ours, that, hey, kicking, maybe coaching. We're definitely not talking about the quarterback in Week 14 on an 11-2 team.
Yeah, but I don't know if that matters. See, that's the thing. If you're just in the good basket and not in the very good, that doesn't mean you can't win. You know, like you wouldn't put Purdy in the very good basket last year, would you? Or the year before. Good quarterbacks can still win. Let's take the Bradshaw. Look at Terry Bradshaw's statistics. He had one more touchdown than an interception, I believe, in his whole career. He's in the Hall of Fame because they won. Now, did they win because of him? He pretty much managed the game, and he got the ball to Lynn Swann and John Stallworth. I get he had good weapons. He had Franco Harris.
Yeah, it's a good memory by you. 212 touchdowns, 210 interceptions for Bradshaw.
So there you go.
But listen to this record. 107 and 51.
Yeah, I get it. So he won because the team around him was great. Is that fair to say? He wasn't in the very good. He's in the Hall of Fame, and he wasn't in the very good category. When you have numbers like that, that's not very good. That's good.
No, but here's where I think the Jalen Hurts discussion happens is because we've debated for a very long time, and Jalen Hurts as a quarterback has been somewhat of a polarizing figure where there were people, and I was one of them, who argued he should be in the top 5 of quarterbacks in the NFL because I felt like he was that good. And then you had the other half of the fan base who said, no, he's not a good passer. 2022 was an outlier. He's never going to get back to that level of play. And now, because they haven't asked him to do a lot, we're still left to the unknown.
But are we? Has it mattered that he hasn't been sensational?
No, from a team perspective, it hasn't. But
that's all that counts, doesn't it?
It is all that matters at the end of the day, is what they do as a team. But there are still people who are debating where should Jalen Hurts fall as far as the quarterback rankings. And you're right. We shouldn't care. If we win a Super Bowl, who cares?
I don't care. I really don't care where he falls at this point. I really don't. Yeah, did we think he was going to be Lamar Jackson at one point? Probably. But they have found a way to maximize the guy. And if you maximize a quarterback, it's like you maximize Bradshaw, or you can go through the ranks and find out how the quarterbacks were maximized without them being sensational. You can still win because you've got enough of a support system. They've got a great offensive line. They've got great skill players. And they got a defense that's one of the best in the league right now. So does it matter if we don't put him in the very good category?
No, not when we're talking about team success. That this team can succeed with him even being a good quarterback. He doesn't have to be very good.
So that's where I rub up against the notion, and you kind of allow it to come in a little bit. I rub up against the notion that you can't win a Super Bowl with this guy not being a dynamic and elite passer. I just don't believe it. I believe this team is solid enough that they can win without a dynamic passer.
And I agree they can, but the reason I've been highlighting the inefficiencies with the passing offense even before A.J. Brown said it after the Panthers game was because it's more likely that you win a Super Bowl if you have everything
but right now you're on an even par to win it anyway. Like, what does it mean more likely? Can you say that the Detroit Lions are that much better than the Eagles? No. Can you say that anybody in the AFC is that much better than the Eagles? No. So, I never got the notion that we need to really fear the fact that they don't have a great passing game right now. It doesn't matter to me. Look at who they're going to play against.
I understand that, and that's why I said they can still win a Super Bowl. But with any team, with any sport, with any business, you identify where can we improve. And you attempt to improve that to give yourself the best chance for success. And when you look at the Eagles team, defense has been lights out. The rushing attack has been phenomenal. So if we're looking to analyze, well, where can we improve? It's the passing game. And I think that's why it's such a hot topic, especially now, because you saw them almost lose to a bad Panthers team. And I think if we would have went back and Leggett catches that pass, what we're talking about is the passing game lost you that game. And that's what we don't want to see happen in the playoffs. That's why we're highlighting.
Yeah, but the passing game hasn't lost them a game
yet.
This yet thing.
But maybe it never happens,
I don't
Mike.
understand this yet thing that you keep creeping in.
Because maybe it never happens, but I do think you need to identify potential weaknesses and try to fix them. And that's why I'm with you, though. I liked that A.J. Brown is highlighting this. He maybe should have elaborated a little bit more than just saying passing, because it allowed everybody to say he's talking about Jaylen. But he explained it when he spoke to the media 2 days ago. And I like that. Yes, let's identify where can we improve on this football team. And we've talked about the first quarter points. We've talked about the kicker, Jake Elliott. And the other major thing is the passing game.
But you were striving for the perfect thing. You want the perfect model.
Of course.
Well, no teams have the perfect model.
No,
That's
but you
what I'm saying.
strive for perfection.
You do, and you're striving for perfection in what you do best. Because what you do best has beaten everybody else.
But I still think you strive for perfection. And it does go back to a little similar thing we saw with the Phillies, where I didn't want them to just put their head in the sand and Rob Thompson not do anything, because the goal was the World Series. They were a good baseball team, a very good baseball team. But you identify areas of weakness and say, we need to fix these so that they don't come back to haunt us in the biggest moments. That's what happened to the Phillies. I don't want it to happen to the Eagles.
All right. I just like this worry concerns me, because you're and you might not even know you're doing it, but I loathe the fact that we feel this oh my God, the sky's going to fall if this happens. Like, I hate that, and you're just playing right into the passing game until it reveals to you that it's going to prevent them from winning something. Then you don't have to go there with your brain.
Yeah, I understand it, but to your point then, until it shows you that they can't win a game, well, what if that game is in the playoffs? You're not going to be able to fix it. So you try to fix it now so that it never becomes the issue. I think that's what a good coaching staff would do. I think that's what good personnel would do. And that's why I do like that this has now been made public. I didn't love that the media and everyone took a hold of this and it got where it got because of Brandon Graham. But to say our passing offense needs to be better and identify that as an issue, I don't see it as a problem.
I don't either. In fact, I think it's going to galvanize. So back, Ray just put some stats up on Terry Bradshaw. He what was it, 166?
Yards per game, yeah.
166 yards per game.
Yeah, that's not that great.
Completion percentage of 51%. And he had 2 more touchdowns than interceptions. Now, he's in the Hall of Fame.
And
now,
how many Super Bowls did he win?
Well, that's what I mean. So, in other words, the voters go, I guess we can't not put the quarterback in the Hall of Fame because they won so many Super Bowls, right? But look, on its face, are they Hall of Fame numbers?
No.
Now, I happen to like Terry Bradshaw a lot. I even like him on that show, maybe because I loathe the other 3 that are on the show. I like
that
him.
show's struggling.
I like him the best of all. But I mean, come on. Those are numbers that he should be in a Hall. How many total yards did he throw for? 29,000 or something?
He threw for, wow, where'd the yards go? That was right there. 27,000.
27,000 yards he threw for. When normally you don't even get a blink unless you're at 40,000 and above.
He won more Super Bowls than he went to Pro Bowls.
That's amazing to me.
Yeah, but you also, I mean, this is the 70s, though. I mean, it was a different era of football, too. I'm not saying that you're not wrong. The reason he's in the Hall of Fame is the Super Bowl wins. But do those type of numbers win you 4 Super Bowls in today's NFL? No way.
When you have
no way.
No, you're making my point for me. They do, obviously, when you have that kind of a defense and that kind of a running game.
There have been good defenses over the last 15 years. And we've gone through these numbers.
A historic defense.
It was a historic
defense. Like the Bears in 86, historic defense.
Well, and
running game.
And Jim McMahon won 1 Super Bowl, not a great quarterback.
And the running game made Lynn Swann a danger and Stallworth. I don't even know who to tell. Benny Cunningham was the tight end. All those guys. I remember the Steeler teams because the Steeler fans at Penn State incessantly pounded it inside my head. That's why I hate them.
Ray, What's this text about me you wanted to get to before the break? What is this?
We can tell people are finding us for the first time and listening for the first time because we had a first-time texter saying, you know, that whenever Bill says to Mike, I'm with you, it's only after he says everything to suggest that he's not.
The truth. It's the truth. You patronize me with the I'm with you when you're not with me.
I'm
Just
with
say
you.
I'm not with me. Yeah.
I'm with you, or you're not wrong, but
Yeah, yes. That's
Yeah.
the lawyer thing.
It's
You're
for
trying
him to
be
drop his
you're trying
guard.
to be polite in court.
Yeah.
To the other side, which I never understood either.
all right, next time I'm going to say, Mike, you're an idiot. And this
You
is
go
why.
ahead, say it. I like that. I'll go right back. Mike Missanelli Show, 610-632-0975. Nick Sirianni coming up in the next hour, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to make a call to a restaurant that has a famous sandwich that uses white bread, French fries, and coleslaw, for crying out loud. We're back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Focused on football. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Veterans exposed to toxins while serving at home or abroad may be eligible for VA care and disability payments. Apply now at choose.va.gov. As the week of Jaylen Hurts and A.J. Brown comes to an end, the Eagles get set to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Battle of Pennsylvania is set for Sunday at 4:25 on Fox at Lincoln Financial Field. After all the drama this week, Jordan Mailata preached that his focus is on the Steelers.
Yes. We are moving on. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers this week, not the A.J. Brown and Jaylen show.
The game on Sunday gives the Eagles an opportunity to win their 10th straight game, which would be a franchise record. Tonight in South Philly, the 76ers host the Pacers at 7 o'clock. Sixers have been off since Sunday. They have won 4 of their last 5. They will be without Adem Bona and Caleb Martin tonight. You can hear the game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And last night, the Flyers won 4-1 over the Red Wings behind 4 goals from Scott Lawton. They'll be back in action tomorrow in Minnesota against the Wild. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Of the Mike Missanelli Show is brought to you by Grungo Law, your law firm when you need help because of an injury. Pray for peace, prepare for trial, grungolaw.com. 10 o'clock hour was just brought to you by Window Nation, where you can take advantage of their 50% off sale on all style windows, plus make no down payment with no payments and no interest for 12 full months. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. I got to admit, that I've had, let's see, I've probably had 8 orthopedic surgeries, so I am familiar with anesthesia. I'm sorry. But that anesthesia yesterday knocked me for a loop. I don't know what it was. I got home. I still have jelly legs.
Well, you hadn't eaten in 24 hours, right?
Yeah, you have to go through that process. It is so unnerving to run to the toilet every three minutes. It's just unbelievable. Now, it cleanses your whole system. I get it, because they have to have that before they do a colonoscopy, which I recommend everybody who's of a certain age, even Bill is approaching that age right now, to get that done. But they didn't get me in there. Like I had the IV in me for like an hour because the previous colonoscopy went longer than they expected. And I go, huh? What? What do you mean longer than they expected? Well, we had to do a lot of work.
Yeah,
well,
how's that happen?
Thank you for that. Yeah. So I finally it's over. I wake up, I'm groggy. First thing I do is I get the biggest cheesesteak I could find. There's a place in Bryn Mawr called Bubba's. Oh, it was like a 2-pound cheesesteak. I wolfed that thing, but it hit me like an anvil, like with an empty stomach.
Wait, what's your cheesesteak of choice? What do you usually put on it?
I go simple usually, just fried onions.
Fried onions? You
Yeah.
do a little, Cooper Sharp? What do you do?
Yeah, they put a Cooper Sharp on it. This place is a good place, man.
We still got to get our cheesesteaks from our Nick's place, right? Or no, John's. Excuse me, John's.
Yeah, get the name right at least.
Yeah,
You've insulted him twice now.
I'm sorry. Well, we're going to insult the Pittsburgh sandwich shop coming up.
And then so last night for dinner, I made a bowl of pasta like a choco horse. I swear it was the biggest bowl of pasta I've ever had. So finally, I got some food in my belly, but I'm still kind of weird. Feel a little weird.
Well, you're always weird. You're just weird.
Yeah, I feel a little weird inside. All right, 610-632-0975. We're going to get back to this chat in a second. I don't know how many people. I tried to get him on today. Unfortunately, he's on vacation. There was a documentary last night on the MLB Network on Mike Schmidt.
I haven't seen it yet. It was good?
It was really good. And what it reminded me of, because when we talk about disappointments in the city of Philadelphia, sports disappointments, and I always go back, the first thing that pops up is 2011, where they lose to the Cardinals and Ryan Howard, the Achilles tendon snaps, and for the last out, the whole bit, right?
Don't bring that up.
Totally
that breaks Ray's heart.
However, I forgot one of the most traumatic losses in Philadelphia sports history. And it might be the most traumatic loss in Philadelphia sports history, and it's revealed in this documentary. And I had completely forgotten about it. The Phillies started to get really good in the mid-'70s. Their 76 team was really good. But they lost to the Big Red Machine, right? And you go, okay, Cincinnati Reds have been dominating, blah, blah, blah. So they come back in 77, and they play the Dodgers. They're up in Game 6 at home by 2 runs, and they can clinch getting to the World Series. So here's what happens. There are 2 outs. This is the clinching game in Game 6 now. 2 outs. This guy named Vic Davalillo lays down a bunt single to keep the game alive. You go, okay, all right, that's no big deal. You're up by, they were up by 1 run, I think. The pinch hitter comes up named Manny Mota, who is more famous now because it's called the Mota stick, where they put the stick. It's a stick like you put on sticky stuff on your bat. It's called the Manny Mota stick because he invented it. The Phillies, for some reason, that game. This is a long, winding explanation. Every late inning situation, they would substitute Greg Luzinski in left field and put in a better defensive player named Jerry Martin. For some reason, in this game, they didn't.
Of a 1-score game?
One run, 9th inning.
Wow.
All right? So Manny Mota hits a fly ball to the wall that Greg Luzinski can't handle. It hits the wall, his glove in the wall, and it goes for then he throws the relay in, It gets past the second baseman and rolls all the way past first base to the wall. So Manny Mota ends up with a triple, and the game is now tied. The next batter hits a smash off of Schmidt's glove. It bounces right to Larry Boa, who barehands it. Davey Lopes hit it, if you remember that guy's name. Boa throws a rifle shot to first base, gets him by a hair. They call him safe.
No replay.
No replay. They call him safe. The go-ahead run crosses the plate at the top of the ninth inning. The Phillies go out in order in the bottom of the ninth, lose Game 6, and then lose Game 7 to lose the series.
Yeah,
oh my God! If you were a kid back then, it was crippling.
That was 76. You said
77. They lost in 76 to the Reds. They won 3 straight National League division titles.
Wow, so they had 101 wins in 76 and 101 wins in 77.
Yeah, they're a great team. But they lost to the Reds. Okay. They were on the cusp of being a really great team. They were supposed to beat the Dodgers. They had them beat, and that happened. Now, you think about losing a game like that. A guy has a bunt single to get on base. They don't have a defensive replacement in left field. And then Boa actually threw the guy out at first. They call him safe, and they wound up losing the game. Now, that is a crippling loss, dude.
Yeah. How long's the documentary? Like an hour?
It's more than an hour. It's like an hour and a half.
Right. Did you watch it yet?
I did not. I was not home to watch it last
night.
night.
I've had Mike Schmidt on many times over the years of my show. I try to get him on, but he's on vacation now. He's out of town, so we couldn't make that. But maybe next week we make it. It's really good because here's what I learned from it. This guy was booed more than any player in Philadelphia history. Now, you're talking about a guy who was the best player at his position ever. And he was booed unmercifully in this city.
Well, he's got the famous quote, right? There's nothing, the thrill of victory and then reading.
And the agony of reading about it. But it was worse than that. He attacked the fans. He finally had enough, and he made it worse for himself by attacking the fans. But they booed the crap out of him because he didn't hit a home run every time up. And when you'll see this, you'll feel sorry for the guy.
Is that really what it was?
Yeah.
I mean, why was he booed so much?
Because he had a nonchalant way about him. He didn't let anybody into his personality. So every chance they got, it was like, well, you're not letting us get to know you, so we're going to boo you. It was tough. I got to be honest with you. It's a dark chapter of Philadelphia history, the way they treated him. It really is.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, I remember Schmidt, obviously, but I don't remember it. I was too young.
Think about it. We have 2 players in the history of sports that were the best at their position ever. He's one of them, and Reggie White's the other. Reggie White never got booed. Schmidt got booed all the time. He struck out, he got booed.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
All right. I just had to get that off my chest there.
Yeah.
Let's go to Greg in Bethlehem. Greg, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Greg.
Morning, guys. Do you think it might play into the Eagles' favor playing the Steelers because of their pass rush, that we might feature the short, quick pass because we don't have time to go downfield?
Yeah, I think that would be great. I'd love to get the ball to Saquon in space. I love the short patterns, maybe to the tight end here. Goddard's not going to be there, so Calcaterra with a short pass, a quick slant to A.J. Brown. I love those patterns.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Jaylen is going to be able to sit in the pocket for 3 seconds with J.J. Watt coming in from the perimeter. He's not going to have time.
I agree. You're on it, Greg. Why don't you see? I'll give you Kellen Moore's email. I think Kellen has figured it out. I think he'll take advantage of that. But it's a good. You pointed out a good thing here.
I mean, it seems so obvious. I don't know why they haven't at least explored that in the past when they didn't have to do it.
Yeah, I get it. I told Greg raises a good point.
Well, but the question is, when you go back and you watch, I don't necessarily think they're not calling those plays. But for whatever reason,
No, but he's
sometimes
saying-
Jalen's not unloaded.
He's saying attack this particular game, Mike Wad, and I think that's a good idea. 610-632-0975. Eagles and Steelers. The Pittsburgh people are afraid to call. I don't blame you. Yeah, too small. Too small. The Mike Missanelli Show continues on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Tyrone Johnson.
97.5. I got here. House of Jealous Lovers. Mike Missanelli Show, 610-632-0975. You know, the Fanatic Deal of the Week is the Bear Creek Mountain Resort spot. That's right, 2 adult extended day lift tickets to Bear Creek Mountain Resort for just $80. That's a pretty good deal. It's located in Kincade, PA. Bear Creek Mountain Resort, the ultimate destination for skiing and snowboarding, featuring breathtaking views and thrilling trails for all skill levels. I've skied there. The trail is pretty decent.
When was the last time you skied? It's been a while?
I skied 2 years ago as I needed a knee replacement.
That was smart. That was a good idea, I'm sure.
It was painful, but it was fun.
You know, I've never skied in my life. I went snowboarding once.
Really?
I think it was at Bear Creek.
You said you went to Bear Creek. Oh, you
To
snowboarded?
snowboard. I tried it one time. I was terrible at it, and I never skied. I think I would probably.
You're always going to be terrible at it when you do it the first time.
Yeah.
It's impossible to.
But I mean, I've been an ice skater since I was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
I would think I
It's a
could.
completely different thing, man.
I would think skiing though would be similar to ice skating. No.
No. Because you get the long ski, man. You got to negotiate the long ski. It's not attached to your foot.
I also am going to admit something. People may come at me for this. I'm petrified of the ski lift.
Yeah, it is intrusive.
Dude, the ski lift.
You got to make sure you plop your butt the perfect way.
And then you get on the ski lift, and like I guess it's not cool to pull the railing down on top of you.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm on there. This is like going back, and I'm with a few people, friends,
I pull
girls,
that rail down all the time, man.
and they don't pull the railing down, and I don't want to be the guy to be like, "Yo, can we pull the
What's
railing
that,
down?"
An adrenaline rush.
And your
for 'em?
feet are hanging. I don't know, man. It freaks me out.
All right, Ray, you ski?
No, I've
No?
never skied
Not a
before.
skier?
No. I'm more afraid of going down the slope. I don't think I have the self-control to get myself down safely.
I'm not a cold weather guy. I got Mediterranean blood, so I'd rather water ski than snow ski. So it never really was big in my life.
Yeah, I didn't have anyone in my family that was a big skier, so I never went when I was young. And then I think a lot of people go when they're younger. They learn it. Maybe we should take advantage of the deal of the week, Ray. Maybe we should go.
You should go.
You want to hang out?
Anyway.
As long as you say the railing could come down on the lift.
The exclusive offer is at 975mag.com/deals. Speaking of water skiing, my brother had a boat once. So I would take it out with my friends. He didn't like it that I took it out, but I took it out. But I was a novice boater. So I take a dock, I put it in the water the whole bit. We get the friends in there. We start drinking beer. We're going to get water ski the whole bit. And I notice in the back of the boat, it's filling up.
Not a good sign.
And I go, oh, no, I forgot to put the plug in. So from there, it was a race to get back to the dock before we sank.
Oh, my God.
And then I had to pull it out, drain it the whole bit, and then put the plug in. But
You made it.
I would have sunk that boat.
Did he know that story, your brother?
I don't think he does.
I hope he's listening.
Let's go to Elliot in Boston. Elliot, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Elliot.
Listen, guys, I'm not a huge skier either, even with all the snow we're getting up in the Northeast.
That's unbelievable. You grew up there?
So I went skiing like maybe once when I was little. I got it pretty quickly, but I just never went back. It's too damn expensive.
It is very expensive. Well, I thought that was a rite of passage when you grew up in the Northeast in Boston and up in New England. You have to do that.
You have to. You have to at least.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, man, I want to talk about. We haven't really talked about It's really interesting when Jalen Hurts was drafted, and they had all these Russell Wilson comparisons, and like Howie Roseman not wanting to miss out on the next Russ, as like the similar draft where the Seahawks basically took him, and the Eagles were rumored to have interest, and now this current Eagles team. Very reminiscent of that 2014 team where you had Marshawn Lynch, who was absolutely carrying that team, Russell Wilson only throwing for 3,400 yards, and a defense that completely took the lead by storm.
It's a good call by you, and we actually talked about this a little earlier. That is very reminiscent of that team.
Yeah, I mean, hey, will it win you a Super Bowl in this era? Or I should say, these modern day teams where you kind of need to pass. I get it. I get the argument. I think you guys are doing a fantastic job nailing that into the ground. we'll see. It's really something where you might not need it right now, but when you need a big throw, Hurts has shown that he can make it.
I agree. That's what I've been saying. I've seen big throws, and you know the need for big throws constantly has been lessened by how this team plays.
100%. 100%.
I like it. I like it, Elliot. Nice work by you. Listen. So if they have to go, we're all worried about whether Jaylen's going to get sacked if they have to go into passing mode, right? Because Steelers have J.J. Watt. They have a couple other good rushers. Well, but they're mid. They're 16th in the league in sacks.
Yeah, they have
like
32 sacks.
It's not like they're terrifying.
They have 32 sacks, but the Eagles do give up a lot of sacks. I mean, they've been Jalen's been sacked 36 times.
4 last week.
Yeah, he's been sacked 36 times.
I get it, but this is not a great sack team they're facing. The kid. Listen, is the key J.J. Watt against the two really good T.J. Watt against the two really good tackles. I mean, that's the key, isn't it?
Yeah, it's T.J. on Lane, most likely.
T.J. and Lane, or whether they move to the other side. They're fine in both situations, don't you think?
Yeah, you would expect, as good as T.J. Watt is, that the Eagles will have something for him, and Lane Johnson's usually up for the challenge. That's why my bigger concern, Mike, isn't even the sacks necessarily. It's that the Steelers have been extremely good at taking the ball away. I mean, 28 takeaways is number 1 in the NFL. 15 interceptions is number 3. They're a plus 17 turnover differential, which is best in the NFL. So my only fear is that if the Eagles try to force the passing game because of all the noise from the outside, the turnovers will kill you against this team. That's the Steelers' recipe right now. So I want to see them getting the offense going. I want to see the passing offense going, but I don't want to see that happen if it results in turnovers, of course. So maybe this isn't the week to try to fix it. Stick to the formula this week. Maybe next week we can focus on the passing game a little bit more.
All right. We got some Pittsburgh hate text. That's Ray. Well, give me some Pittsburgh.
First time texter here, Zane from Mechanicsburg. This is how much I dislike those crap pizza eating Eastern Ohioans. Given any amount of governmental power, I would lead a charge to give the western part of the state to Ohio in return for them helping us take over New Jersey. I'm not a fan of Jersey as a whole, but they've got good pizza, some Philly fans, and a beach. It's a win-win. We get rid of that wasteland full of yinzers, and our state becomes both a mountain and coastal.
That's hate. That's true hate right there. I like it. He's right about the pizza, too.
Is it bad?
It's just...
I'll say it's not that good.
There's bastardizations of food that they serve out there.
But really, outside of Philly and New York, though, do you get good pizza anywhere? I mean, I know Boston, they have good pizza, right? New England or whatever up there.
New Haven, Connecticut.
Yeah, New Haven's got good pizza.
I'll describe
Brooklyn.
The pizza I had in Pittsburgh was I had a day long on Saturday of enjoying myself, and the pizza still didn't taste that good.
I don't understand it. They got Italians out there, too. I don't care what part of Italy they came from. They got bad pizza, and they got a bad sandwich where they use white bread. And on the other side, we're going to check in with the Primanti brothers. Now, hopefully we can pull this off. They might hang up on us. But we got 3 Primanti brothers locations that we may have to try here, Bill.
All right, I'm looking forward to it.
I want to get this Pittsburgh Philly thing down, and I want to get why they think this Primanti sandwich is better than Philly cheesesteak. Mike Missanelli Show continues after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Focusing on football, I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Popeyes. It's football season in Philly, so you got to have some grub. Popeyes says just the John for any fan of the birds. We're talking wings, baby. So fly to Popeyes Fly and fill up on wings in 7 delicious flavors. As the week of Jaylen Hurts and A.J. Brown comes to an end, the Eagles get set to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Battle of Pennsylvania is Sunday at 4:25 on Fox at Lincoln Financial Field. After all the drama of this week, Jordan Mailata preached that his focus is on the Steelers.
Yes. We are moving on. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers this week, not the A.J. Brown and Jaylen show.
That game on Sunday gives the Eagles the opportunity to win their 10th straight game, which would be a franchise record. Tonight in South Philly, the 76ers host the Pacers at 7 o'clock. Sixers have won 4 of 5. They'll be without Adembona and Caleb Barton tonight. You can hear the game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And last night, the Flyers won 4-1 over the Red Wings behind 4 goals from Scott Lawton. They'll be back in action tomorrow in Minnesota against the Wild. This update's also brought to you by the Empire State Building. Find out why the reimagined Empire State Building Observatory was voted the world's #1 attraction by travelers on TripAdvisor. Tickets at empirestatebuilding.com/radio. Open daily, reservations required. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show. Nick Sirianni coming up in just a little bit, but let's try to have some fun here on the Mike Missanelli Show. Let's call Primanti Brothers in Pittsburgh, which is the signature sandwich place in Pittsburgh. It's been for a really long time. Somebody invented this sandwich with white bread and lunch meat and a coleslaw and French fries on top of it. So let's try to call one of the shops here and see if we can get a clerk to explain this sandwich. All right, we're working on it right now, Bill. This is downtown. This is like 18th Street.
Have you ever had this sandwich? Have you tried it?
Yeah, I have had it.
Is it terrible?
No, it's not terrible. But it's like, they say it's Italian bread. Like, you're cutting it from a loaf. It looks like white bread. Like, what is Italian bread about that? I questioned it.
And they throw coleslaw and fries on it,
Coleslaw and fries and whatever the sandwich has on it. If it's turkey, roast beef, or I think you can get a burger. Or there's like all kinds of configurations of sandwiches.
Yeah, I don't get it. Ray's trying.
Yeah, Ray's trying. I don't know. They should be open. They open early. They must serve
See, the
breakfast
problem
over there, too.
is if Ray calls, they may say, sorry, son, you have to be 18 to order.
Apparently he's not getting through, so.
I guess it's busy. It's lunchtime in Pittsburgh. A lot of people want to get in.
It's probably lunchtime. Yeah, they're probably getting their takeout orders in. It doesn't look like
Pittsburgh.
we're going to be able to pull this off.
Yeah.
Very well. All right, we'll try back again later. Right.
Yeah, he's throwing his arms up in disgust.
He's just not answering. Well, they must have a lot of takeout orders they're getting right now.
Oh, we're waiting. See, we're trying to do this live on radio.
Yeah, yes.
So we're trying to get a
This
hold
is
of it.
impromptu radio stuff.
Yes.
This is like the Jerky Boys. Remember Jerky Boys?
I do.
With
I
the
used to
phony
love
phone
them.
calls.
I used to love the Jerky Boys back in the day. That's going back to like the 90s.
Yeah, it is. No.
Nah, Rays have
right.
zero success.
We're
back
still
then.
dialing. Just still dialing.
It's still dialing. They're not picking up. That happens when a lot of takeout orders come in and they keep you ringing forever. All right. Well,
They're all busy, which is insane.
They're all busy. Yeah.
It's Friday lunchtime.
Yeah, it's Friday lunchtime. We got one. Oh, hello. Hello.
What's up?
Hi.
Hello?
What's your name?
My name's Julia.
Julia. My name's Mike. We're doing a live radio show in Philadelphia. The Steelers play the Eagles this weekend, right?
I do.
Okay. Are you a big Steeler fan?
I'm a huge Steeler fan.
Okay. So what do you think about this game? Let me get your spin on this game first of all.
I mean, the rivalry goes crazy between the Steelers and the Eagles. Like, I even got some native Pittsburghers that enjoy the Eagles more than us. So
Oh, really? Are you a native? Are you a native Pittsburgher?
I am.
Oh, you are. Okay.
I work right in downtown.
So aren't you jealous that you don't live in Philly?
I don't know. I like Pittsburgh a little better.
You'd like Pittsburgh better than Philly? What's wrong with you, Julia? What the hell's up?
I support my city.
I get it. So, Julia, tell me about this sandwich now, because I know a lot of people from Pittsburgh, and they're always carping about how good the Primanti sandwich is, and it's better than a cheesesteak. Now, are you kidding me? Come on now.
See, that's a tough argument. I don't know. I can't pick sides there. I can't. I want to support Primanti's because that's my job, but I love
See, I'm getting it. You like the cheesesteak better, Julia. Come on.
Maybe. I can't say it.
All right, now, Julia, explain this sandwich to me, please, because I want to know the origins of it. Who put a fistful of French fries on top of a sandwich with 2 slices of white bread? Come on. What is this?
So the business itself originated in, I think the 1930s with 3 brothers. All the sandwiches come with bread, fries, coleslaw, cheese, and tomatoes. It was meant to be a blue-collar lunch that you could just eat in one sitting, all in the same sandwich, and then get right back to work. So that's where it all originated from.
Uh-huh.
But we have a few locations in Pittsburgh, and then we have a few, 1 or 2 in Florida, I believe.
I know, and I've been to the one in Florida. I've been to a couple of them in Pittsburgh. The sandwich is okay. But I need it. You got a sandwich right in front of you. You got a Primanti sandwich. You got a cheesesteak to the right. You got a Primanti to the left. Where are you going with your nose first?
Oh.
Come on,
Stop
Julia.
putting me in the middle of
It's
it.
all right.
It's like a tough situation. What do you want me to
Nobody
say?
knows you in Philly. Nobody's going to hear in Pittsburgh. I just need your honest opinion, Julia. Come on. This Primanti sandwich with coleslaw and French fries against a cheesesteak? Julia.
I say if Okay, if I had to pick, I'm going to pick Primanti's. I'm going to do the Angus sandwich, and you can add onions onto that, and that's pretty much a Philly cheesesteak.
What an Angus sandwich? So what now? What explain the Angus part of this? Is it like one piece of Angus, or is it chopped Angus?
It's chopped up Angus.
It's chopped up Angus. Now, do you toast this white bread? Julie, it's white bread.
It's
Come
not
on.
toast. It's not toasted, but it is Italian, and it's real good.
How could it be
it's like a
Italian
knockoff
if it's
Philly.
cut
It's
from a
Pittsburgh
loaf?
Philly.
I saw it cut from a loaf. How's that Italian?
It's Italian bread. It's Italian loaf of
It's
bread.
soft. It's like Wonder Bread.
Okay, well, I got to get going back to work.
Thanks for being a good sport, Julie.
Thanks, Julie.
Yeah, she was great. She was great. I think if you gave her truth serum, she's going with a cheesesteak.
She sounded that way, didn't she? Yeah,
So-
I got to represent.
So I'm on their website now. How about her though, knowing the whole history and everything?
Well, you think they're trained that way? They have to know the whole history. What are you going to come in from a foreign land and work at Primanti's without
says-
knowing the sandwich?
According to Joe's nephew, one winter, someone drove up with a load of potatoes. He brought them over to the restaurant to see if they were frozen. He fried the potatoes on the grill. They looked good, so he threw them on the sandwich. That's how they started doing it.
Hey, listen, the Angus, like a cheesesteak, it's got French fries on it and coleslaw. Now, and tomato.
Yeah, because he's saying on here, it's
and
for the
cheese.
local truck drivers. They could have eaten
Right.
it with one hand while they drove.
Okay, so they get the full meal with one sandwich. I get it.
So they do.
But think about this: the Angus chopped on white bread with cheese, tomato, coleslaw, French fries, cheesesteak, fried onions, pure, fragrant, juicy. Where are you going?
I'm going with the cheesesteak.
Of course you are.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The fresh Italian bread's throwing me off because it doesn't look like it's fresh Italian bread.
It's a loaf of bread. I see it. I don't know how they call it Italian bread. It's literally a loaf that looks like it's packaged like Wonder Bread.
Yeah, and it says fresh Italian bread on the website. I don't know.
Well, that was my beef.
I don't know.
I go, sir, excuse me, come here. I go, can you explain how this is Italian bread? Well, it's got the Italian bread recipe. I go, it comes out like Wonder Bread. How's it Italian bread recipe?
But this isn't that unique to throw the fries on. Like in Greece, when they do the gyros, or you call them gyros, they put the fries inside of it.
Yeah, because
it's all together because it's
in a
one
pouch.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not that unique to throw fries on it.
Well, you know. All right.
Julia was
she was a good sport.
She said downtown though. I heard that.
Downtown? She say downtown?
She had a little bit of a W in
A little
there.
bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
All right. I'll go over an entire vocabulary in a little bit on how they say words differently. Joe in Mantua. Joe, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Joe.
Yeah, Mike, I've seen that sandwich. They got a Primanti Brothers franchise at Penn State.
Yeah, they do, actually. They do.
That sandwich is fraudulent, totally fraudulent. But anyway,
No, it's not a bad sandwich. It's just like they rave about it like,
it's slop. But anyway, I'm calling about, you mentioned the 77 series, and it scarred me for life, that series. It was actually a 5-game series. That was game 3.
Oh, okay. It was a 5-game. That's right. You're right. It was a 5-game series.
And
First round was 5 games.
Dutch Renner blew that call from here till Sunday. I mean, it wasn't even that. It was half a step.
It's hard to believe what transpired in those last 3 plays to make him lose that game. And I said, well, I remember that's so heartbreaking, that loss.
And the thing was, when he left Luzinski in there, Ozark's explanation was he wanted Luzinski's batting in the lineup in case the Dodgers tied the game.
Yeah. Yeah,
But if he
that's
took
brought
Luzinski out, they wouldn't have tied the game.
That's brought out in the documentary. Larry Boa does a great job in the documentary. Larry Boa says, "Yeah, I saw Bull running out to left field. I go, what the hell are you doing here?"
Yeah, Larry Boa, you asked about it. He's still furious about that call.
Yeah, he is. Well, I would be too. I mean, think about it.
But the worst part of that was the next night, we had Carlton lined up to pitch, and they played the game in a driving rainstorm, the whole game.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah.
Bowie Coon sat in the front row without
It should have been canceled. Yeah, it should have been canceled.
Friggin' idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, think about that. Look at the curse that happened with 1/2 inning led to them losing that series.
And that was like after how many years of futility with the Phillies? I mean, I remember they started getting like Dave Cash and Willie Montague.
Oh, they started to build.
They started to get a little better, and they were getting it. They actually re-signed Richie Allen, I guess, like maybe in 74, whatever.
76, he came back in 76.
76, yeah. But they were starting to get better, and like the interest was like ramping up with the Phillies. But that, oh my God, what a gut punch that was.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. Let me tell you something else, because I was a kid, so I remember vividly the disappointment. Because people today don't know. The kids today don't know the disappointment. Kids like Ray had the experience. 77 was also the curse of the Sixers. So that year, you got 2 kicks in the groin because the Sixers lost to the Portland Trailblazers with that great team with George McGinnis and Julius Erving after taking a 2-0 lead by winning both games in Philly and wound up losing the series.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for you, though. Because
Darryl Dawkins fought Maurice Lucas.
But then you had 1980 and you had 1983. Poor me and Ray. All we got is 2017 and 2008.
Dude, I get it. But when you lose a series like that 77 series, when you are 3 outs away from advancing.
Yeah, that's pretty
And with
devastating.
3 fluke plays in a row, that's tough.
That was your 2022.
It was, but it was even harsher because the Dodgers were hated, you know? And the Reds and the Dodgers were both juggernaut teams. And here comes this upstart Phillies team, and they're really good. They win 101 games, 2 straight years, and then that happens. So I forgot completely about that. That's got to be – that's right there in the top 3. I mean, you can go to the loss to Tampa Bay. You can go to the Cardinals, Ryan Howard, but that's got to be right in there.
Yeah, I
don't like tardiness.
I thought 2022 Super Bowl was a pretty devastating loss. When you're up 10 at half and you see Patrick Mahomes limping off the field, I mean, everybody thought it was over. You thought it was over. And it would have been the most magical season in Eagles history, I think. They dominated from start to finish, except for the last 2 quarters.
Well, that's also a legendary quarterback who is used to doing stuff like that.
I know, but when you saw him limping off the field at halftime, you thought it was over, didn't you? I mean, I was getting texts from people. I'm like, don't say it, because they were saying it's over. A lot of my New York buddies, congratulations on the Super Bowl win. I'm like, stop. But deep down, I'm thinking, yeah, it is over. They're going to win this thing.
I don't know. What are the odds? You get 2 outs, and a guy gets a bunt hit to keep the game alive.
What are the odds that someone even tries a bunt hit with 2 outs?
Yeah, that's what I mean. He dragged bunt. The left-handed guy dragged bunt down third base line. I'm going, that's all right.
And Schmidt was playing third?
Yeah.
Maybe this is why he gets booed. You got to barehand it, Mike. Come on.
No, it was like the dead perfect bunt that nobody could make a play on. All right.
We did get a text that said they still boo Schmidt when they see him.
Yeah, again, this is a dark chapter. Please watch this documentary, and you're going to find out how bad your behavior was back then. Really, it was terrible. I mean, every time the guy struck out, rain boos. And look at his resume. He was a 10-time Gold Glover. He was a 2-time MVP.
Yeah,
he hit 500-plus home runs. Think about that.
There's got to be more to it.
There's nothing more to it other than that he was expected to deliver every single time up. And when he struck out, he was like one of those guys that didn't show any emotion, and that really ticked people off here. Well, he's the best player in at his position, the best player ever. And he got terrible treatment in this city.
I'm going to have to watch the documentary.
All right. Nick Sirianni is supposed to be with us as usual.
I don't like tardiness.
He's late, so this messes up all the time. Let's go to the phones then. Aaron in West Philly. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Aaron.
Well, y'all talking some good stuff. What's up, fellas?
How you doing, Aaron?
A friend of mine tells me, Bill, that you know why we lost that Super Bowl?
Why is that?
Rihanna. He said she stayed out there longer than anybody else did. That's how, Mahomes went in there and got treated, and he had time to get himself together because it was a long behind halftime.
So it's Rihanna's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said he blames it on Rihanna to the day. He was just telling me that. He blames it on Rihanna. All right. Mike, we're going to blow Pittsburgh out.
I agree.
Well,
I'm really.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I think
agree.
they're 5.5 is telling me they're going to win big.
They're going to blow them out because, first of all, the Eagles need a good blowout victory. They ain't had one probably all year.
Yeah.
And to beat a good team like that, because they always beat up on Pittsburgh. I got one of my best friends. He's from Pittsburgh, And he don't want me to come to his house. I said, I'm going to come to your house and watch the game. He's like, nah, because every time we watch the game together, they lose.
Oh, Pittsburgh
so
loses?
Go
The
there.
Steelers lose?
Yeah, Pittsburgh loses. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a big Pittsburgh dude. He's from out that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember, and you're breaking my heart, Mike, the 77 Sixers, the 77 Phillies.
I forgot it. I forgot it was the same year that both those losses happened.
Yes. And that's why I had the problem with Doc for so many years. We owe you one. Remember that one?
That was the
We owe you
campaign
one.
after that. We owe you one with his finger up in the air. They put it on billboards.
Yeah, it was bad times, man. But the Phillies, I remember that. I remember them plays, man. I was young. I was
Yeah,
11.
well, if you see the
But I
documentary,
remember that.
they relive those plays, and I go, oh my God, I forgot all about that.
Right. And I kind of put Mike Schmidt and Julius Erving side to side because they were both tremendous players, but they couldn't get over the hump until somebody came. Pete Rose had to come save the Phillies in '80, and Moses had to come and save the
Well,
Sixers
but the
in
funny thing
83.
about that is Schmidt's production was always the same. Pete Rose gets a lot of credit for boosting his confidence, and he had an MVP year in 1980. But you're talking about a guy who had still tremendous production before Pete Rose even got there.
And so did Doc, but Schmidt struck out a lot at big times.
Yeah, see, people always look at that, and I go, and I have to laugh. Oh, he struck out a big time. You know, there are people that will say he never hit a big home run in his life. Now, the guy had 530-something home runs. He never hit a big home run in his life. This is what people think when they he struck out in the bed and the clutch.
Now, I haven't seen the documentary, but there has to be something that caused Philadelphia fans to turn on Schmidt.
I'm telling you, it was the fact that he had great production. They expected it every night. Baseball is hard. He couldn't give it to him every night. Like, he had things that stood out. Like, he was 1 for 18 in the National League Championship Series before they actually won the World Series. But he comes back and he was the MVP of the World Series when they beat the Kansas City Royals. Like, it's ridiculous when you think about it.
But we know
baseball's hard.
When Philadelphia fans turn on someone, it's very difficult to get them back. So I think there had to have been something early in Schmidt's career that caused people to turn that way. There just had to be. They're not going to hate him for no reason.
When they brought him up, he hit 196 his first year.
So maybe that was it.
Okay, so it's like, oh, this guy's a bum. The next year, he had MVP numbers. But they always reserved the right to go back to booing the guy. He was a 10-time Gold Glover. He was the best fielding third baseman maybe ever.
Who couldn't field the bunt in the 76 playoff.
Stop it.
I'm only kidding. I didn't even see the game. I wasn't born until 83.
Well, it's available for you to see.
I know, but what would be the point in the heartbreak of going back to watch something?
They played the
76?
Houston Astros in 5 games. 4 of them went to extra innings before they got to that series, the Dodgers.
We have Sirianni?
In a moment, it appears.
In a
I
moment,
thought I just got a notification.
Yeah, the notification is that the live stream's gone live. He is not. There he is.
Oh, we got him? All right, here's Nick Sirianni.
Nick, you okay? Mm-hmm. Nick, obviously it's been a pretty, I guess, drama-filled week, at least early on. I'm curious now that you've had a full week with the team, how do you think they responded to it?
Yeah, I think when we the last time we thought about that was Wednesday when you guys kind of asked us the questions and we kind of addressed it, and I said what I said, and really since then it's been a non-issue, and we've had a really good week of practice and great meetings and great walkthroughs, and yeah, we moved on pretty quick from that, and I think that's a good sign of a good team.
Jaylen said on Wednesday that there are times where he sees himself holding the ball too long. What can be done to help him improve in that regard?
Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that Jalen Hurts continually will get better at things that he perceives as something that's going on, or we perceive as something that's going on. He just continues to get better and win football games, which is at the end of the day, the main thing is to win football games, and Jalen does it at a better clip than pretty much everybody else. And so, again, it's things that we do to put together the game plan, ways he goes through his reads, practice time, walkthrough time, all those things will contribute to him getting better at, what he talked about.
Nick, when did you start playing celebrations for the team in meetings on Mondays?
Yeah, again, I think, one thing that I look at other people's cultures and like as far as I've done a lot of studying of that, like, and I was really interested in Steve Kerr's, and one of the things that he talked about in his culture that I've read about, and I've never got a chance to talk to him, would love to talk to him, was just joy. And so one thing I read that he made it a point of putting up pictures of the guys in the building of that current team and of them celebrating and really kind of talking about their core values. And so that's why there's you guys don't get to go around this whole building, but there's a ton of pictures and video boards of our guys doing those things, and I was kind of inspired by Coach Kerr there. And so we've had that with the video boards throughout the meeting. You see those in the locker room and through the pictures. But this year was we started that at this beginning of this year of just showing some of the celebrations there when we recap the game. It's a little quick highlight video of the guys, talking and showing our culture, our tough, detailed, together culture. And so we like to point those things out, just like we like to point out things, from the game, whether mistake or whether good things, and how we kind of go over that. We thought that it'd be good to do that same thing with culture points, just the same way that you go over game details, because your culture is just as important as the things that are happening out there, and they're a result of the things that happen out there. So that kind of the celebration thing kind of started this year as far as that goes.
The Steelers are number one in takeaways. Mm-hmm. What is it that they do so well in that respect, and what becomes key for you guys?
Number 90 is outstanding, and he you can see how he plays and the ability he has to get to the quarterback and retrace to the quarterback and always have that ball in his mind. And I think that when you have a guy like that, my experience has been when you have a guy that's a ball hawk like him, that kind of goes throughout, and Minkah Fitzpatrick is too on the back end. That kind of, those guys get an opportunity to learn from him. And so you can see Herbeck playing that way, and you see Highsmith playing that way. And so they just do a really good job of getting after the quarterback and having the ball on their mind when that happens. So we have to, counter that, and we have different ways that we will need to do that. We'll have to play a good game because they're good players. But you can tell, again, I think I've said this earlier in the week, you can tell that it's part of their culture. You can tell that Coach Tomlin talks about it a lot. I guess you get to see it a little bit in the episodes of Hard Knocks when he talks about it. It's an advantage. You get to see some of those things, but got a lot of respect for Coach Tomlin and his staff and how consistent he has been throughout his entire career. It's very impressive, and that doesn't happen without good culture, good players, good coaches.
Two more, please. As someone who's never had a losing season, what appreciation do you have for 18 years without one?
Man, 18 years. I mean, 4 years, 18 years, big, obviously a big difference. And consistency, and teams that are able to sustain success, I think that's so impressive, because, I think you can say it, you see it in this league all the time that, hey, this team came out of nowhere, had a big year, and then they don't have another good year or whatever it is, right? Or the thing that I admire so much, and I think that you get that appreciation when you've been in part of something, like being at Mount Union and the sustained success of Mount Union always taught me, like, no, I'm going to root for teams like that. When I was younger, like, because everyone when I was growing up hated the Yankees because they won all the time, or they hated Mount Union and because they won all the time. So you would come, like, I think being a part of that, I ended up admiring that and not rooting against those teams until obviously, we get into here and you don't root for one team or the other. And so it just taught me admire the success and the sustained success, because that is a difficult thing, especially in this league, especially the way the rules are kind of wrote up and the way the draft status goes and the way the schedule goes after it. This is a hard business to have sustained success. And so, I can't say enough of anytime I've ever had a conversation with Coach Tomlin, admire the heck out of him, can see his passion for the game and how he coaches. You get to watch it on television, and then you get to see the sustained success and how his teams play football. You can tell his teams play football tough. They take care of the ball. They take the ball away, the fundamentals, the details, and so I always admire that.
Last one.
The Steelers are also first in time of possession margin, and paired with how good they are at taking away the ball. This week, how much has that been part of the conversation as you're trying to fix the passing game? Because they can punish you for mistakes and also, take time off the clock in a lot of ways that maybe last week seemed to.
Yeah, again, I go back to to fix the passing game. I mean, we're trying to get better there. I don't see it as broken, and we're just trying to we got the right players in place, we got the right coaches in place. We're going to keep getting better there. Everything's accounted for. We talk about the ball each week, and so the ball is completely on our minds. We know it's important to them. It's always been important to us. We know that's going to be a big emphasis on both sides this week, and a big determinant of who's going to win the game, because that's a stat that always, there's a lot of stats you can look at, and you can kind of I don't want to say, you can look at there's so many different stats, this, that, boom, boom. I think one of the ones that we pay attention to a lot that has stand the test of time is that turnover differential, and so that will be on our mind, and I know they'll be on their mind as well.
All right, thanks.
All right, quick. In and out today.
With the Mount Union reference.
With the Mount Union reference. I'm so intrigued by this place. This is the place in Ohio, right? Is that where it is? Mount Union?
I think so. I should know this. Yeah, it's in Alliance, Ohio.
Alliance, Ohio. This must be a special place. I'm going to check into it.
Well, they're a D3 powerhouse.
I know. I'm going to check into campus life and all that stuff, how much it costs. It must be a special place. I can advise people. He speaks glowingly of it. He's got to be the number one college recruiter ever for that school.
Well, they get a lot of Division I
runoffs.
Yeah.
And their football program.
And they're a phenomenal
I'm more interested in the school. What a wonderful place it was to go to school. I'm looking at it right now. It's got all kinds of flowers on it.
Yankees, Mount Union, Yankees, Mount Union.
Yeah. Yes. He got the Mount Union in there. I like it. Okay. 610-632-0975. Take a break. We'll come back. It's the noon o'clock hour. We got the news at noon coming your way, and a lot of people on hold. We will get to you, I promise. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Focus on football. I'm Bray Dunn. This update is brought to you by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. Did you know that driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal? Drive high, get a DUI. A message from the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. As the week of Jaylen Hurts and A.J. Brown comes to an end, the Eagles get set to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Battle of Pennsylvania Sunday at 4:25 on Fox at Lincoln Financial Field. After all the drama this week, Jordan Mailata preached that his focus is on the Steelers.
Yes, we are moving on. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers this week, not the A.J. Brown and Jaylen show. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's it.
Game on Sunday gives the Eagles an opportunity to win their 10th straight game, which would be a franchise record. To break down that game at 1 o'clock, we will talk to ESPN's Tim McManus about everything going into this matchup. Tonight in South Philly, the 76ers host the Pacers at 7 o'clock. Sixers have won 4 of 5. They'll be without Adem Bona and Caleb Martin tonight. You can hear the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And last night, the Flyers won 4-1 over the Red Wings behind 4 goals from Scott Lawton. They'll be back in action tomorrow in Minnesota against the Wild. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
In the Del Real, actually 12:05. Happy noontime to everybody. Enjoy your lunchtime. Listening to the Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. 12 o'clock hour brought to you by Service First Heating and Air Conditioning. Get 0% financing for 72 months and a $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system from Service First. Learn more at servicefirsthvac.com. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've missed it for at least a couple of days this week. So let's joyously embrace the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
What's going on in the sports world, Ray Bob?
All right, let's start with Thursday Night Football. I don't think it's a secret to anyone what happened last night outside of just the atrocious offense on either side. But the 49ers losing Dre Greenlaw to injury. Next man up, Devondre Campbell. In the third quarter decides, I'm not playing tonight. I don't want to play. So I'll give you both Kyle Shanahan and George Kittle addressing it after the game.
Happened with Devondre Campbell. He didn't play and he went into the locker room at some point.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to play today.
Play today?
Yep.
The coaching staff?
He did when I asked him why he didn't want to go in. So.
During the game or before?
No, that was in the third quarter.
Does that create dissension or disbelief or just disconnection on the sideline?
Not disbelief or disconnection like as a team. That is one person who just decided not to, play for his teammates. And I don't think that doesn't make our offense look at each other and be like, wow, man, we're falling apart. It's more of a, or like the defense, hey, we're falling apart. It's more of a one person making a, like Mooney said, a selfish decision. And I'm with Mooney on that. And I've never been around anybody that's ever done that. And I hope I'm never around anybody that does that again.
Let's hear what Kyle Shanahan has to say about this.
That open was Kyle Shanahan.
That was
first
Kyle.
question was Shanahan.
Okay.
Second one was
second
George
one was
Kittle.
Okay, all right, I get it. So, how would Kittle know that happened? That's Sally down the lane, right? Hey, yo, man, Devontae didn't want to go in.
Well, then he walked off the field with time still left to play. He left the sidelines. So I'm sure people had seen it. Look, it was because Dre Greenlaw was their starting linebacker last year. If you remember, I think it was the Super Bowl where he blows out his Achilles.
Jumping up in the air,
celebrating. So this was his first game back. Campbell had been starting in place of Greenlaw, but it was, hey, we're giving Greenlaw a shot. So you understand his frustration, but you can't do that. You can't just refuse to go into the game when they ask you to go in.
It's childish, and does he not think that he's going to get cut for doing that? You can't keep that guy on the team.
Nah, he's
does
gone.
That.
Well, especially he's gone because the Niners are out of it now.
Yeah,
this was his first year in San Francisco. He's done.
All right.
Pretty ridiculous.
What's next?
All right, let's take you to the Soto sweepstakes. It was the big day in New York yesterday. The Mets got a chance to introduce Juan Soto. And with that introduction, we got a little bit of insight on his relationship with his Yankees teammates, or the lack thereof, since the end of the season.
I haven't talked to any of those guys. Definitely, we talked to them through at the end of the playoffs, but after that, I made this process. I haven't talked to any of those.
Well, listen, I don't know. They butthurt the Yankee teammates. Does he not feel uncomfortable talking to them? I don't know. What should we read into that?
I don't know.
These guys are businessmen, man. They can make the best business deal for themselves.
But not once a conversation since the season ended? Seems a little extreme.
What are they going to say? What's he going to say to them? What are they going to say to him?
Check in. I feel like you have at least a conversation.
Nah. These guys are individual contractors, man.
It's also sounding more and more like everybody knew.
Yeah,
the inevitable was the Mets.
Funny, the Yankees now have to overreact. So they signed Max Fried, an off-injured left-handed pitcher, to an 8-year deal when he's 30 years old. Like, seriously? And then they're rumored to go after Cody Bellinger. Desperation.
Was that a breaking news drop?
No, that was another news at noon sounder going on.
Yeah.
All right, last one for you here. Louisville men's basketball coach Pat Kelsey was asked a very generic question about scheduling, how you deal with it, how do you keep the team's focus. And before he got into the coach speak at the end of his answer, he gave, I think, a very, very nice and a different answer than what you'd hear from most coaches.
We get a bunch of free sneakers. I wear sweatsuits to work. My kids are healthy. My wife's hot. I got a pretty good life.
What is this?
We get to play college basketball. We get to play in the Yum Center. We get to get ready for Utah. My dad used to say it all the time. I would say to him, Dad, you got to go to work today. He said, son, I get to go to work today. Right? Heck yeah.
Well, yeah, that's pretty cool.
My wife's hot.
I like
He's hot. He's got these sweatsuits. Yeah. Free sneaks. The whole bit. That's cool. I get that in perspective.
No, I love that, man, because I think too often we kind of downplay our happiness. People ask you how you're doing, and it's like, oh, not bad. You know, you're feeling good about yourself,
how you doing? My wife's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
My daughter's married to a friggin' loser.
I could complain, but who'd listen? Right? I like to hear somebody's happy.
Yes. All righty. So there you go. That's the news at noon. Well done, Ray. Appreciate it. By the way, Sixer Talk, they're back at it tonight.
Big favorites tonight.
They're big favorites, but do we know, has it been announced that Joel Embiid is playing tonight?
The only two listed as out, Caleb Martin and Dembona.
So he's playing. That's why they're big favorites.
Well, I would hope. They've been off for 5 days.
Let me ask you this question, because I was reading, this is just a side note on the Sixers. And then we'll take a break. Jimmy Butler on the market. Somebody has proposed that it would work perfectly financially if you exchange Paul George for Jimmy Butler.
No.
Would you do it?
No.
No?
I'm not doing it.
Ray?
Nah, I'm good.
You're not doing it either. Woo! That's really interesting.
We have this love affair.
I think I might do it. I got to be honest with you.
We got this love affair with Jimmy Butler because at the time he was here for a very short
love
period
for Jimmy
of time.
Butler because he plays the way we like him to play. Now, he doesn't do it every game, but when he gets back here with Embiid, ooh, I don't know. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Andrew Salciunas.
The Eagles once again blank.
Oh, it's a big one. You got the governor rooting for the Eagles. You got the what is it? What do you call the AG? What is that?
Attorney General?
Attorney? No.
Lieutenant Governor?
Lieutenant.
Oh, that's what it was.
The
yeah.
LG, Lieutenant Governor, Austin Davis, the Pittsburgher.
Yeah.
I love what Josh Shapiro said a couple days ago. That he's going to have him walk through the Eagle tailgate, like
in all Steelers gear.
Really, seriously, he had no regard for his health whatsoever.
See, but that's why I have a hard time jumping on the hate towards Steelers fans. Because when I went to Pittsburgh, to Heinz Field, all in Eagles gear back in college, I got out thinking, here it goes when people are yelling, "You from Philly?" And they welcomed me into their tailgate.
What year was this?
2004. They welcomed me into their tailgate, welcome to Pittsburgh, have a beer. Can we get you any food? They were so nice.
Well, that's nice. Listen.
And I even said to them, you would not get treated this way in Philadelphia.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe that's why the rivalry hasn't gotten more intense.
But I think you're right.
Too nice.
It's because it's AFC. If it was an NFC opponent, it probably would be a lot worse.
No, I was a big Flyer fan back in the day. You
still are. You're coming back.
Yeah, but when I was at Penn State, my Pittsburgh buddy, let's go home for the weekend, go to my house for the weekend, and go to Flyers game. The Flyers are playing the Penguins. They used to play in the what they call the Igloo.
Yeah, I remember that.
The Civic Center, Pittsburgh Civic Center, or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's a great name.
Flyers housed them 6-0.
6-0. The whole Sidney Crosby era with Giroux and all. I mean, that's when I hated the Penguins.
Well, the Penguins had a guy who was killed in a car accident who was their Michkov back then.
I don't remember that.
I can't remember what his name was, but it was like a terrible thing. I mean, like they got this guy. He was like the savior. It was a French name, Michel something, I think.
Michel Briere?
Michel Briere.
That's right.
Yeah,
Following his rookie season, he was involved in a car accident.
Yeah, he got killed in a car accident. He was like the guy.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, he was the Michkov guy.
That's going way back.
Way back, yeah. But I remember they and then they didn't get good for a long time. Pop on a cell joins us. Pop, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Pop.
Mike, you had to bring up the Ghosts of 77. Why?
Because I watched the documentary on Schmitty last night.
Years to get over that.
I didn't realize the extent of that damage, and that documentary brought it out.
Yeah, and Vic Davalio and Manny Mota, what were they, like a combined 100 years old?
Yeah, they were. I think they were both pinch hitters, and it was Davalio was a pinch hitter. He laid down a bunt. Manny Mota was a pinch hitter. He hit it to the left field wall. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, why is Luzinski in left field?
I don't know. It's one of the mysteries ever. It was like it was a really bad mistake that they made.
Yeah, and then the game 4, all I can remember is Carlton trying to clean the mud out of his cleats, and he can't push off on the rubber because the game was a mess.
I forgot about the rain game that they lost. They wound up losing. That's gut wrenching. You lose a game 4 like that, and game 5 rains on your head, and you can't. That's a terrible.
And the umpires are just like, oh, just play.
Yeah. Well, Bowie Kuhn was the commissioner. He wanted the game played.
Yeah. And 78 was no picnic either, with Maddox dropping the ball and Bill Russell.
Yeah, they lost to the Dodgers the next year, too.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Talk to me about the football game.
Well, I think it's going to be the Eagles' defense that's going to have to step up here.
They step up every year.
They're going to run the ball, but I think the defense has to really step up this game.
Yeah, I don't have any qualms about that. I think that defense is really playing well together right now, so I don't have a problem with that. And that's why I like the Eagles to win by double digits. I think they're going to really be able to outscore the Steelers here.
One last thing, Mike.
Yep.
Go Army, beat Navy.
Ah, you have tied into one of my games of the week. The Army-Navy game this week. Very scant college slate. In fact, this is the FCS weekend.
And that was a nice tease for our 12:30 NFL picks that are coming up.
Right, our picks are coming up in just a little bit. I'm curious to know where you're going to go with your selections this week, because it's a tough card.
It is a tough card.
It's not a really good card.
It is a tough card, but you and I both had a pretty good week last week. We were 2-1. If you included the Eagles game, we were 3-1. So I'm feeling confident with my 3 picks today.
You are?
I am, even though it is a tough slate.
You're always confident. Wait, Ray, do we have the records? Is Bill falling off a little bit, or is he continuing on this pace?
No, he's continuing on this pace.
What is he this year?
He's been pretty good. He's got it in front of him.
I have myself at 29-13.
29-13 is spectacular. And what am I?
I don't know what your record is. Ray was keeping
You
track.
had just crossed over. This week, I think you got to 21 and
I was 2-1 last week.
Yeah, I think you got to 21 and 18.
21-18.
That
you were
sounds
about to
right.
cross that 20-win threshold.
Okay, well, and I'm over 500, so that's all I care about. All right, the Yankees have made a trade for Devin Williams. Oh, my. That's a pretty good trade for them.
I know the offseason's not over, Mike. But if the Phillies say they're running it back, I'm going to lose my mind.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Austin Hayes is still out there.
Stop it, Ray.
610-632-0975. The NFL picks. Keep your ears peeled. Don't go anywhere. You'll hear some winners after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Focus on football. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Popeyes. It's football season in Philly, so you got to have some grub. Popeyes has just the John Frenny fan of the birds. We're talking wings, baby, so fly to Popeyes. Fly and fill up on wings in 7 delicious flavors. As the week of Jaylen Hurts and A.J. Brown comes to an end, the Eagles get set to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Battle of Pennsylvania is Sunday at 4:25 on Fox at Lincoln Financial Field. After all the drama this week, Jordan Mailata preached that his focus is on the Steelers.
Yeah. We are moving on. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers this week, not the A.J. Brown and Jaylen show.
Game on Sunday gives the Eagles an opportunity to win their 10th straight game, which would be a franchise record. Tim McManus of ESPN will join us at 1 o'clock to break down everything going on with this game. Tonight in South Philly, the 76ers host the Pacers at 7 o'clock. Sixers have won 4 of 5. They'll be without Adem Bona and Caleb Martin tonight. You can hear the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Last night, Flyers won 4-1 over the Red Wings behind 4 goals from Scott Lawton. They'll be back in action tomorrow in Minnesota against the Wild. This update's also brought to you by the Empire State Building. Find out why the reimagined Empire State Building Observatory was voted the world's #1 attraction by travelers on TripAdvisor. Tickets at empirestatebuilding.com/radio. Open daily, reservations required. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com.
On our pick segment on Friday, Bill has been on fire, man. If you've been playing Bill, you're way ahead of the game. You got some good Christmas money. 29-13. I'm over 500 at 21-18. I am on the upswing. I've had a couple good weeks in a row. Hopefully we can continue the momentum. So I will defer to the man who is going at an all-time high percentage here in his picks. It's time for the locks of the week.
And I like a lot of road teams this week. All three of my picks are going to be the road team. Let's start in Buffalo. After winning 7 straight games, the Buffalo Bills lost a tough one to the Los Angeles Rams, a shootout. Well, they're on the road against my favorite head coach, and, of course, Mikey Miss's favorite head coach, Dan Campbell. That's won 11 in a row.
I knew you were going to take the Bills in this game.
I'm taking the Buffalo Bills.
Hate. It's a hate pick.
Plus 2.5.
You see, you're screwing up. You're not going by your formula.
There's no way Buffalo loses 2 games in a row. They're going to win in Detroit. And this is a little bit of a side topic, but how ridiculous were the people in Detroit with a Dan Campbell look-alike contest this week? Absurd. Take the Bills plus 2.5. My next pick, the Washington.
Are you calling outright? Are you calling an outright win for Buffalo without the 2.5?
Outright. Bills win that game. Take the Bills money line. But I'm going to take the 2.5 for purposes of the record. But I wouldn't be surprised money line.
Don't seem that confident.
Next one, the Washington Commanders, coming off of a bye, are 7.5-point favorites in New Orleans against the Saints, and their starting quarterback, Jake Hanner. Who? It's his first NFL start. The Commanders are averaging 29 points a game. The Saints were averaging 22, but that was with Derek Carr. I'm taking the Commanders in a blowout. They will cover the 7.5. But for my lock of the week, Michael, lock of the week, and who's it brought to us by?
It is brought to us by McCausland Lock Services. For up to 50% off car keys and remotes, go to where the dealers go. McCausland Lock Services.
Lock of the week. Joe Burrow's not happy. Everybody knows about his swimsuit model girlfriend now. Well, they're on the road as 4.5-point favorites in Tennessee. The Bengals are averaging 28 points a game, which is top 5 in the NFL. The Titans are only averaging 17.5, which is 30th in the league, and they're giving up 26 points a game. The Bengals are going to blow out the Titans. That's my lock of the week.
Okay. By the way, with that Joe Burrow girlfriend thing, what am I reading that she might play for the other squad? She might not play for his team.
I didn't hear this, but now I'm intrigued. Let me do some research.
I did not hear this.
Well,
here, while you're doing your picks, I'll Google.
Apparently plays for both teams, so that's fine by me. In any event, my picks will be the following. I agree with you on the Commanders. So it was the first one I thought of. That line has gone up from 2.5, I guess, because there's no Carr in this game. The Commanders minus 7.5 at the Saints looked like a good play to me. And I'm going to go to college. There's only one college game, really. It's the Army-Navy game. Now, Army's really good. And I think they're minus 7 in this game. And I know everybody goes, you got to throw the records out. You got to throw how good the teams are. This Army-Navy game always is close. Yeah, I get it, but Army's so much better than Navy. I'm going to take the Army. The Cadets, the Black Knights.
Wait, what's the spread on that?
-7.
-7.
-7 for the Army. Good squad. My lock of the week. Oh, my God. I can't believe this is happening. The Carolina Panthers are favored. They started out with a +6.5 against the Cowboys. They have zoomed up to a favorite at -2.5. That's got my attention. That's my lock of the week. I'd ride with the Carolina Panthers. -2.5 against the Cowboys.
Man, the Cowboys are bad this year. Could you imagine being a dog?
I got to give some love to the Panthers there for the first time being a favorite in a really long time.
And it's against the Cowboys.
Yep.
And did you see the Cowboys and Stephen Jones are already starting to cry about they're going to have some cap issues next year and they're going to have to make tough decisions? Why do they always seem to have cap-related issues? We never have cap issues in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I like that, though. So you're going Panthers -2.5, Army -7, and the Commanders with me -7.
Well, I wish the college games started this weekend. I don't need that 2-week gap. By the way, I was reading online the SMU faction fans that are coming to the game and the packages that they have to come to this game?
Expensive?
Well, no. You know where they're staying? The hotel?
Where at?
Harrisburg. The packages have them staying in Harrisburg. That's the closest they can get.
So wait, how long of a drive is that?
It's about 2 hours, hour and a half in from Harrisburg.
Sorry.
Here, come have fun and hang out at the SMU rally at Harrisburg. Come on, man.
You sent
They got to make that state college runway just that much bigger. You got to fly more planes in there.
You got to have more luxury hotels at State College because all the cheap hotels are going for $1,600 this weekend. They can't afford that. Coming in from Dallas.
I'm slightly distracted right now, Mike.
What's the matter?
You got me going down a rabbit hole here.
Joe Burrow's girlfriend?
Yeah, I'm trying to find out where you got this information.
I saw it somewhere online. I don't know.
I'm not seeing it. Though, you know what was maybe the weirdest part of this story? How old is she, Olivia, the Sports Illustrated model?
31.
Okay.
Is she 31?
How old is she, Ray?
No, I don't know.
22.
Okay.
She's 22.
All right, well, maybe it makes a little bit more sense then. She's still kind of young. But, Ray, you're 24, right?
That's true.
All right, if you were at my house, Ray, and someone was breaking in, would you call your mother? Or would you call the police? She called her mom first, which I thought was interesting.
I would call the cops.
That's what don't you think that's a little weird for a 22-year-old?
Called her mother?
Yes.
I don't think it's weird. She's 22. She panicked. She's not efficient in calling the police. She's going to call her mother for advice, like she's given all her life.
And then the mom called the police.
Right. Well, what do I do? She's probably been a sheltered girl. You're a model, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I guess. I would just think someone's breaking in. Thank God it didn't get worse. But could you imagine being on the phone with your mom instead of the cops?
She doesn't have that kind of savvy at age 22. Let me call the authorities.
Yeah, you're probably right.
She's thinking, oh, maybe they'll question it. I broke into his house.
Yeah, maybe you're right. With the age, I get it.
Which we still haven't figured out what happened to his supposed fiance, longtime college girlfriend, and all this.
With the one that was with him at the draft when he was on his parents' couch?
Believe so.
Yeah.
That one, it was the one that was with him from
That's why I love the draft, because I will venture to say that 92% of those early girlfriends are gone.
Well, you saw the Will Levis situation when he didn't get drafted. It seemed like that situation was already falling apart.
Yeah, that went viral. I highly doubt that CeeDee Lamb is still with the girl he took the cell phone from.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's 92%.
Remember that one?
Yeah,
I do remember that.
92%. You're out.
That may be my favorite draft moment, though, is when the woman that was with CD tried to look at his phone. He ripped it out of her hand. Like, nah, you're not checking that.
Yeah, because, baby, I got news for you. In a couple of months,
CeeDee Lamb.
You get the gate. Okay, let's go back to the text board. We got Primanti's hate. We're back to the Primanti sandwich. Listen, I don't want to tell you it's a bad sandwich. It's just.
Well, Sean Perksy wants to tell you.
That's what Sean said.
I went to Pitt and had a few Primanti sandwiches in my day. Worst sandwich ever. Awkward to eat with the fries. It's terrible. People from Pittsburgh clearly don't know what Italian bread is.
No, it's not Italian bread, all right? And I know they put it under the guise of Italian bread. It's really a loaf of white bread that they slice. And it's not, I'm telling you, it's not a bad sandwich. It's tasty depending on what kind of sandwich you get.
Homemade coleslaw, it says.
I'm a coleslaw fan. A lot of people aren't. I like a coleslaw.
You said it coleslaw, you said.
Coleslaw.
Yeah, you said it with a lot of emph.
Did I? Yeah, I'm a big slaw fan.
My mother-in-law makes it delicious. She says it's a Norwegian coleslaw recipe she got from her mom, who had some Norwegian blood, I think. Or is it Norwegian? I don't even remember now. It's good, though.
It's good. You know the roots of your mother-in-law right now.
Yeah. Text me if you're listening.
All right. Let's get back to the phones. Ladies and gentlemen, Ish has made it a point to be ripping into Ray.
Yeah, be careful, Ish.
Little shots. So
he's got his finger on the button.
If he goes there, it might be perilous for Ish. Ish in Levittown, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
What's going on?
To the Joe Burrow. Hey, Mike. Just to add to the Joe Burrow story. Allegedly, she was an assistant of his, not his girlfriend. So it's a weird situation. I don't know what's going on.
She was an assistant for who?
Joe Burrow.
For Joe?
Joe Burrow.
She worked
Joe Burrow.
on the Joe Burrow team? Nothing wrong with that.
Allegedly, yeah. Well,
I don't.
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't know if I'm buying it.
Sometimes you fall for a coworker, right?
Could you imagine You're engaged and you bring home a swimsuit model and say, "Hun, this is my new assistant, or this is the new nanny. She also is a swimsuit model, but don't worry, I don't know if that's going to fly."
I wish she was my assistant.
Listen, man, the guy's a young guy. He's all fashioned up. He's got his hair frosted. He's living the life.
Yeah, modern day Eminem.
Exactly.
Hair frosted.
Yeah, so with Pittsburgh, I think the Eagles are going to win this week. I don't have any fears. I think A.J. Brown going to get the ball, and I think our defense is going to come through and flop. And Ray, you say you've been to Pittsburgh?
I have been
Ray,
to Pittsburgh-ish.
Okay. Have you wore your little beanie and your...
He got zipped. He got zapped.
Ray got so mad at him yesterday.
Have you worn your little what?
Your little beanie, I think
Little
he said. I don't know where that was going.
That's just, if we want to go down this path.
By the way, I found a dead ringer for Ray. You got to know the people that, if you watch Saturday Night Live, they do this skit with these writers, these three writers, these little. Have you seen this guy? Has anybody said you're a dead ringer for that guy?
I've been waiting for someone to say it.
Really?
Wait, is he one of the cast members?
No, he's a writer, and so but they're quirky. So
It's the three.
yeah, three dudes do a quirky bit with like whoever the guest star is, and they're like, it's pretty funny actually. These guys are actually pretty funny.
Wait, this guy?
No.
No.
He's thinner now. I don't know. That must be an old picture.
The trio's Please Don't Destroy. It's Ben Marshall,
Yeah, here
John
it is.
Higgins,
Here it
and
is,
Martin.
that
I don't know
kid.
how to pronounce
Yes, look at that. He's that ringer for Ray, that guy. What's his name?
What's his name, Ray?
I don't know which one of the three.
It's called
he is.
Please Don't.
Please Don't Destroy is the name of the trio of them.
Please Don't Destroy. So I've had other people tell me that they think you look like someone else, and I didn't want to say it because I thought it was a little bit of an insult.
This guy doesn't have a beard, but this guy is Ray.
So I've had people tell me that they think Ray looks like Seth Green.
He does look like Seth Green a little bit. Yeah.
But I think you're a lot better looking than Seth Green, Ray. Let me just throw that out there.
I've gotten Connor McDavid, and I'll go with that one.
Connor McDavid?
Connor McDavid.
Go talk to Chuck D'Amico and literally all our sales team.
Okay.
Connor McDavid?
Yeah, he's too macho looking.
What, Ray?
He's a macho looking. You look more like a baby facer.
Who the hell said you look like
Connor McDavid looks macho to you?
Wait, Chuck
plays
D'Amico,
well.
our former program director,
Yes.
said that? Well, first of all, he likes you. He thinks you're a great human being. He has told me that. I think he's giving
would
you.
agree
I think,
about that.
I think he's saucing you up a little bit with the Connor McDavid thing.
Hold on. I'm pulling up Connor
Go
McDavid.
look at Connor McDavid.
Maybe, Ray. I don't know. Look, Mike, what do you think?
No. The guy on Saturday Night Live is a dead ringer for him.
He doesn't look that different from that guy on Saturday Night Live.
Yes, he does. He's macho looking.
No,
Look
here
at
it
him.
He's not.
This is
a
Ray.
macho
You
looking
look
guy.
at Connor McDavid's face, you're not like, that's
He's
one
got
of the best players in the
stubble going.
NHL.
He's macho.
Is that Seth Green or is that Ray Dunn?
No, I'm telling you, the guy on Saturday Night Live more than Seth Green does. And
Ray's better looking than all of them.
because somebody must have told him that, or you've seen the guy.
I've seen the guy, yeah.
Oh, when
It's
you
a funny
saw him,
comparison.
Did you think
Well, because it's the ginger hair. Everyone will go
yeah,
like.
but it's the face too.
Everybody's
He's got
weighing
your
in.
face.
Everyone's weighing in on YouTube with Ray Dunn lookalikes. So we got Richie Cunningham.
Richie Cunningham. He's got a little Richie in him. or as Ricky Waters used to call, Opie Cunningham.
MBD, of course, says you look like one of the Keebler elves.
No, see, that's just that's getting in.
Someone says Jack Nicholson.
Ishville. Jack Nicholson.
What? I don't see that at
Jack
all.
Nicholson. What?
Are you referring to Ray as?
Come on now.
Wait, who's Alfred E. Newman? Was that the Mad
That's
magazine
the Mad
guy?
magazine guy.
Ray, look at all this abuse. I'll tell you.
Go to John in is this Naples, Italy, or Florida? This is John. He's in Florida. John, you in Florida?
I'm in Florida, Mikey Miss.
John, what's the temperature in Naples right now?
74 today. It's a little chilly.
Yeah, it does seem a little chilly.
It's a little chilly today.
Yeah, I know. You go out and play golf in this chilly weather?
No, I don't like golf. I don't play golf.
Oh my God! You live in Naples. You don't like golf? What the hell?
I hate golf.
Oh.
I tried. I started late. My best friend in Edgeley, he used to play every day when I was 10, 15 years old, and I never picked up the golf club. I never liked it. So,
My friend in Edgeley. Yeah, that's a little section in Bristol Township where they used to have a basketball court. Well, I used to run a lot of good comp into Edgeley courts.
Yep.
Go ahead, John. What else you got?
Anyway, I was going to say First of all, it's so great to have a sports station to listen to again. I can't tell you. It's about 10 years ago, I did the Phillies fantasy camp twice, and we had Mike Schmidt come. Well, they had Mike Schmidt come, and he gave us an hour-long hitting clinic, and he actually went into the batting cages with us. And, you know, to stand there with Mike Schmidt, like the best third baseman of all time, helping you hit was like just incredible. But he told the story that, you know, when he was in an on-deck circle and there was a big situation, he would actually hope he didn't have to come up to bat sometimes, because I think it was because of all the vitriol he used to get, you know?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And he struck out in a big spot being on deck. And it's in the documentary. I forget exactly what the circumstance was. And he knew he was going to hear it.
Yes.
Yeah, he knew. He always had the ear out when he came to the plate, whether he was going to get booed. And that took a lot of focus away from him.
Yes, yeah.
But still, come on, man. He had 500 and something. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that vitriol the guy got.
Well, the other guy that got a lot of vitriol, who just got in the Hall of Fame, was Richie Allen. Okay.
Well, he got it because that was divided on racial lines and
right.
some things that he also did. But you know, Schmidt just got buried because he was aloof.
Yes, and Greg Luzinski was our coach, and I never had the guts to ask him about the left field play in the playoffs. I was afraid he'd hit me.
Yeah, well, he's probably tired of hearing how he didn't catch that ball. He claims he caught it. You know, it was like simultaneous with the wall, but I think it hit the wall first. Like one of those deals.
This was what was Luzinski's name again?
The Bull.
The Bull. That's
let's go to John in Upper Maryland. John, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. John.
How you doing, Mike?
What's up, Johnny?
Good. Hey, Mike, I got a failure for you that I think you should remember, because I think we're around the same age. I still wear these scars today from the 1964 Phillies.
Well, yeah, I was a child, and so I remember it. But people always bring that up. That was a slow death rather than a suddener death. You know?
Yeah, but Mike.
No, I get it. It's the legendary. They had a 6.5 game lead.
12 games ago with a 6.5 game lead, and they lost 10 in a row.
Yeah.
My father had tickets to the World Series.
A lot of people did. A lot of people who lived back in that area will never forget that. But you know.
Never, ever.
There have been too many more disappointments in my lifetime that go back to 64.
Well, Mike, that was traumatic.
Oh, it was totally traumatic.
Yeah, I got one more for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I agree with you about Mike Schmidt being the best all-around third baseman, but I got to say, with the glove, Brooks Robinson was the best. They called him Hoover, short for Hoover vacuum cleaner. Brooks Robinson was the best with a glove. Would you agree?
Listen, he was a sensational third baseman. I think I don't know. I think Schmidt was the overall better third baseman. But the combination of what Schmidt brought was a lot. You know, Brooks Robinson used to dive down the line and stuff, and that was like Ozzie Smith doing a backflip. People remember all that stuff. Schmidt didn't do a lot of diving, but he won 10 Gold Gloves. You know, like he must have been doing something right? I don't know how many Brooks Robinson run. Maybe he won 10 also. Who knows? All right. How much do you think it would cost you to go to Mount Union?
Mount Union.
Right. This is Nick Sirianni touting Mount Union. What do you think the prices are
here? With room and board or just tuition?
Tuition and fees, first of all.
I'm going to say tuition and fees is $18,000.
$36,100. Technology fee, $500. Standard room, $5,900 per year. Suite style room, $6,700 per year. Single room, $1,500 a year more than a standard room. Meal plan, unlimited for $5,900 per year, or 16 meals per week plus $100 for $5,900 per year.
So are we talking like $50K? A year?
Probably more than that.
I'm sure. Nick Sirianni
Be
got
a good
the,
school. He's got the scholarship.
Well, Division III, at least when I went, they couldn't call it scholarships, but you got plenty of financial aid.
Okay, so he got financial aid.
I'm sure.
It's a special place for Nick, you can tell. 610-632-0975. Coming up at 1 o'clock, Tim McManus analyzing the Eagles-Steelers Sunday. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Focusing on football, I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Ace Hardware Home Services. Got a leaky pipe? Having issues with your heat? At Ace Hardware Home Services, they're around the block with everything you need to fix it. They've got the pros to keep your home humming all year long. Ace Hardware Home Services. As the week of Jaylen Hurts and A.J. Brown comes to an end, the Eagles get set to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Battle of Pennsylvania is Sunday at 4:25 on Fox at Lincoln Financial Field. After all the drama this week, Jordan Mailata preached that his focus is on the Steelers.
Yeah. We are moving on. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers this week, not the A.J. Brown and Jaylen show.
Game on Sunday gives the Eagles an opportunity to win their 10th straight game, which would be a franchise record. We will talk to Tim McManus coming up in the next segment about everything going on in this Eagles-Steelers matchup. Tonight in South Philly, 76ers host the Pacers at 7 o'clock. Sixers have won 4 of 5. They'll be without Dembona and Caleb Martin tonight. You can hear the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And last night, the Flyers won 4-1 over the Red Wings behind 4 goals from Scott Lawton. They'll be back in action tomorrow in Minnesota against the Wild. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show. Brought to you by Ferguson HVAC, Lyon Conklin, attention HVAC contractors for equipment, parts, and supplies for every heating and cooling job. Visit one of Ferguson's counter locations, Ben Salem, King of Prussia, Pennsauken, or Westchester. Eagles and Steelers at the Link on Sunday, the Battle of PA. But, of course, this issue was hot all week, and our next guest was covering it to the max. The AJ, Jaylen, BG situation. Has it been flushed out? It certainly looks like it. Let's bring in the man who covers the Eagles for ESPN.com. Tim McManis. Timmy!
Mike, what's going on, man?
Well, you know what was going on because it occupied a lot of your week. So now that it's all seems to be out in the open and settled, I have to ask you, is it settled?
Well, let me just set the scene for me. So we just got off the practice field. We have just on Fridays like 5 minutes that we're out there. And the music choice was absolutely intentional. It was my prerogative. I'm sure you're familiar with. Great song. Everybody's talking about me. Why can't they just let me live? Nick Sirianni walking up towards the media. Jalen Hurts dancing to it. Very much an intentional messaging, as if this was media created, not Brandon Graham and AJ Brown created. So they're using like everybody's talking at us, you know. But here we are rallying together type of vibe out here.
Us against them. Hoya paranoia. All right. So I got to ask you. See, I think something like this galvanizes the team. I think now they go, let's show them. And these things are necessary. Are you getting that vibe from this team? They are a really serious favorite in this game against a pretty good team.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it could go one of two ways. There could definitely be that rallying point that AJ Brown's messaging sort of gets out there of like, look, we need to pay more attention to the passing game. We need to get it up and going. Everybody sort of coalesces around each other. That's certainly one possibility. The other one is overcorrection. So this is a formula that they've hit on, Mike, where they've won 9 straight based off the fact that they've taken the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands and they put it in the hands of Saquon Barkley, and it's really worked for him. Hurts is dropping back just 27 times as opposed to 39 over the first 4 weeks of the year. Turnovers are way down. He only has 2 of them. And now there's being pressure put on internally for them to improve on the passing game, for A.J. Brown to get more involved. And so do they get out of character at all? And if you start to get out of character against a defense that takes the ball away more than any other team in the NFL, does that work against you? So I'm very curious to see how they come out of this, not just from are we still together type of thing, but are we going to change our philosophical approach that has worked so well to get us to where we're at?
You know, the way you get on a good side of a player is like charm them, and when I charm them, I mean get him the ball and make him feel good about himself early. So this is what we're talking about here. Would they make a conscious effort, in your view, to get the ball to AJ early on and get the feel good going and then proceed from there?
100%. And all we have to do is look back at last year. You remember week 2 against Minnesota? It's a win, but AJ only had 4 catches for 39 yards, and he was yelling at Jaylen on the sidelines, and Nick had to intervene. Mm-hmm. What happened the next week? He got targeted 14 times and ended up with 9 catches for 131 yards. And that was the start of a record streak for a wide receiver of having 125-plus receiving yards in 6 straight games. That was what started it. So absolutely, I think that A.J. Brown's going to get targeted early and often.
But that, in a way, what you were saying before, that you're going right into the wave at that point, because now you're giving in and you're saying, okay, because we got to do this, we're not going to be ourselves, and ourselves is run the football and not worry about that other stuff.
Exactly. And, there are close observers of this team who argue last year that did not lead them down a good path ultimately by being so A.J. Brown-centric, that they got away from some other things. And so this is a fascinating game from so many standpoints. And I think that's first and foremost for me. It's like they're not going to get away from Saquon Barkley altogether. But there is like this urgency to fix what's going on with the passing game. Hurts has gotten so conservative over the last 3 games. Where he's well under 200 yards in all 3 of them, where he's not taking any shots downfield. He only has 2 throws, Mike, of 20-plus yards over the last 3 games. That's 62 pass attempts. He hasn't gone downfield to A.J. Brown only once in the last 90 dropbacks for him. So there is like this, okay, we do have to make some tweaks. We have to get a little bit more aggressive, but you have to find a balance so you don't lose, what's been so good for you.
Tim, obviously a lot of focus is going to be on the Eagles' offense, but let's go to the other side of the football for a second. The defense, not their best game last week against the Panthers, but they still held them to 16 points. But when you look at this Steelers offense, they're not going to have George Pickens. What weapons do they have that could maybe be a problem for this Eagles D?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot without Pickens, honestly. I mean, you go back down to the next most productive wide receiver, and I think he has 335 yards or somewhere right around there. Pat Freiermuth is a good tight end, and their running backs are decent, and they can kind of ground and pound you a little bit, and that's probably going to have to be the approach to a large extent. Russell Wilson kind of creating. He's obviously been playing much better than he did during his time in Denver. It looks a little bit more like the Seattle Russell Wilson, but I feel like their formula has been, really strong defense, move the ball enough on offense, make enough plays, kick some field goals, and win ugly. And that's going to have to be their approach here without Pickens in the lineup.
All right, so let's look at some statistics here because the Steelers against running backs pretty good. Their defense against the pass is also pretty good, and but the running back thing doesn't count for what Hurts can do to them. So how do you think the Steelers play this whole thing as far as Hurts goes?
So they do mostly single high safety anyway, and I would absolutely imagine that the concentration for them will be on Saquon Barkley in the ground game. When we were talking to Barkley yesterday at his locker stall, Mike, he said that I've only met Tomlin once. It's when the Giants played the Steelers, and Tomlin came up to him pregame, and he said, "You're in for a long day." And sure enough, Barkley only ended up with 6 yards in that game. So we know where the focus is going to be, not just because of that anecdote, but because of the kind of year that Barkley is having. Obviously, that's the strength of this offensive unit, and I think that they're going to put a lot of resources into stopping them. So it brings back the point. Their secondary, I mean, Minkah Fitzpatrick is a playmaker. He's somebody that you have to watch out for because Jalen Hurts has been sort of victimized by quality safeties over the course of this season. When we look at where the turnovers come from, the interceptions come from, it's often by good safety play. So that's something that he has to be on the lookout for. But I feel like, when it comes to matchups between the wide receivers and the corners, that is very clearly in the favor of the Eagles. So it sort of comes back to the point of like all this talk about the passing game. I think we're going to see some of it.
All right. So interesting now that Russell Wilson comes to a place where he was once coveted as a quarterback, and certainly not the same quarterback. But it is very ironic to me. I got to ask you this last question because Mr. Lurie just made a couple extra million selling 8% of the team, and the rumors are that may go towards a reconfiguration of a retractable roof. Are you hearing anything along those lines?
So just to be totally honest, I haven't done any reporting on the retractable roof stuff yet. But we know that the 8% share gets him, hundreds of millions of dollars in liquidity that he can do what he wants with, and maybe stadium repairs is on there. People have brought up the fact of, well, if you get a roof, then you can host a Super Bowl and you can host these other great events, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind being sort of front and center. So it does make a degree of sense, and I'll look into it more. So next time we talk,
so how much does he get out of this 8%?
He got $664 million.
$664 million, and still has firm control of the team. America is such a great country, isn't it?
Oh man, $8.6 billion valuation. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Good Lord.
Well, ESPN's got you about that salary, don't they? About $600 million a year, Tim? Maybe over 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right around it. I don't want to talk about salary, but yeah, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I got one word. Julian. How's that? All right. Timmy, always a pleasure. We'll look forward to your...
before Timmy goes.
What?
Who's he got winning the game?
Oh, well, yes. I forgot they asked
I want to know who's going to win, Tim.
I do put you on the spot, and you usually give an honest answer. How you feeling?
I think I'm going to go Pittsburgh in this one. I'm going to say I'm going to say that they get a little bit out of character and they turn over the ball and they lose by a field goal.
Ooh, okay.
That's your prerogative.
Steelers, an
That is my
outright win.
prerogative.
All right, Timmy, thank
I'm
you.
going to do what I want to do, Bill.
You got it. I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
There he is. Tim
Yeah.
McManus going Steelers.
Going Steelers.
He'll get a lot of hate for that.
Well, I liked his subtle jab, though. It's like the Eagles are playing my prerogative. Everybody's talking all this stuff about me. Like, and the media, we got a bad rap this week. They created it. The Eagles created
Yeah, but
this.
people don't want to believe that. The easy kill is the media. The hated media. The hated media that brings the fan all the information that they require. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah. Well, I'm still getting used to being hated on and referred to as the media. People, typical media guy. I'm like,
I know.
I'm still getting used to that.
610-632-0975. On the other side, a little English lesson on why the Pittsburghese is a unique pronunciation.
Philadelphia Flyers hockey. Show has been holding court.
Let's get into the AJ Jaylen thing. It's pretty much simmered down, and people are saying, the media's blown it up and everything's cool because those guys said it was cool. Now maybe they're not good, but it really doesn't matter if they're not good, because what this thing kind of does is it gets everybody on the same page. It's like, okay, we know that the wide receivers aren't happy with not getting the ball, so let's get them the ball. And let's move on with this whole thing. I really think it's the worst thing that could happen to the Steelers, what happened last week. But I think they're going to be extra engaged in getting the ball to the wide receiver. So I don't have a worry about that. So in a lot of ways, this is a really big test for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I hate Pittsburgh. Go ahead, Bill.
Mike and Bill have been pleading their cases.
See, you talked a little bit about this matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you mentioned the Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown drama, and could this galvanize the team? When A.J. Brown made those comments after the game passing, and then it blew up, now put a spotlight on this passing offense, something that we already were concerned about, and now it's become an even bigger issue because it was brought to the attention of everybody with those comments. If they try to throw the ball this week, my concern is that you're not only going up against the Steelers defense that's pretty decent against the pass with all those stats you mentioned, they also are top 3 in the NFL in interceptions. So my concern is if they come out and they make a concerted effort to say, we're going to try to throw the football because we need to fix the passing offense, and Jaylen throws a couple of picks, I think the noise is even louder next week that there's problems with this passing offense. So I am a little bit concerned. As much as I want to see them get the ball to AJ and fix the passing offense, I'm not sure that this is the week.
The Mike Missanelli Show Holding Court is brought to you by Grunko Law, your law firm when you need help because of an injury. We treat every case like it's Dallas week. Pray for peace, prepare for trial. Now back to Mike Missanelli on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
1 o'clock hour of the Mike Missanelli Show. It's brought to you by Ferguson HVAC Lion Conklin. Attention HVAC contractors for equipment, parts, and supplies. For every heating and cooling job is one at Ferguson's county locations in Bensalem, King of Prussia, Pennsauken, or Westchester. Couple of notes here that have nothing to do with the topic. I'm headed down to a gymnasium dedication. My best friend growing up, who's been a lifelong politician and lawyer in Bucks County, is a graduate of Bishop Egan High School, which is now called Conwell Egan. They are naming the gymnasium after him tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's a big thing, man. So it's going to be called the John Cardisco Gymnasium. So
you're going down there tonight.
I'm going to go down there and just with the guys that we grew up with, the same little posse, that we're going to be there. Just show us support.
Very cool. Very impressive. But what may be more impressive, did you polish off that entire sandwich already?
No, it was a half.
Oh, my God. I thought you ate the whole thing.
No, it was a half. And I'm glad you brought that up because I want to thank my buddy Matt Pagano. There's a restaurant in this office building, Pagano's. A lot of people go, Ray gets a bagel there every day for free. and they have fantastic sandwiches. So we didn't have any coffee. We go down and we walk our mile down to the coffee. There's no coffee. Well, you take the coffee? No coffee. No right? Coffee. So I needed a cup at halftime. Normally it was a little late, so I text Matt. I said, Matt, you guys deliver up to an office here, because they're right below us. And he goes, yeah, we would do it for you, but we're closed on Friday. I go, ah. He goes, well, we'll ship a box of coffee and sandwiches to you from our downtown. But I go, no, don't come all the way here from downtown. So sure enough, he delivers it. So
he did it. Coffee was delicious too.
Yeah, thank you. It's an Italian roast of coffee. It's called
from Napoli.
Master Roasting. Napolitan.
Yeah, I like it.
All
well,
right.
thank you. What's his first name? Pagano's first name? Matt. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah. Tremendous sandwiches he has. All right. One other thing also. There's a guy who's been calling here, and apparently I mean a lot to him. And he has asked me to send him a Christmas card.
Yeah, and I said he should get a cameo from you, but I don't think he's technologically advanced.
No. I'm going to send him a Christmas card.
Yeah.
He sounds like a nice enough guy. I'm going to send him a Christmas card. However, I'm glad you led me into Cameo. Because if you want a personal shout-out, I'll give you that, too, for a small fee. Just go to Cameo.com. Now, go to Christmas wishes. I might even do, if you request, I might do the Bruce Springsteen bit.
Now, some people have asked, though, would you do Sirianni Love on Cameo?
I can't do it like you. So, no.
No.
My thing is that Bruce thing. That's about it.
All right.
So if you want a Cameo, just go to cameo.com, put my name in there, and for a small fee, I'll give you a personal shout-out.
Yeah, and I will say, for people who have never had the Cameo done, a lot of people don't know what it is. So if you get Mikey Miss giving you a Cameo, they're going to think that you somehow got in touch with Mike. They don't understand that it's through a website. It's pretty cool. I've used it before.
Thank you for depleting my effectiveness in the Cameo. Jesus God.
Wait, what did I deplete?
Right. He goes, a lot of people think this might give you a personal greeting, but it's really going through Cameo.
I mean,
Mike
the
has
person
no idea who the hell you are.
Exactly.
Buy it for
thank you for that.
The person who's getting it doesn't realize is what I meant. All right, I didn't mean to deplete it. Great. I may get you a Cameo from Mike singing Sirianni Love. I'm going to have to pay extra for it.
Yeah, no. All right, so we're talking about Pittsburgh East, and Ray and Bill don't have the ear for the Pittsburgh East. I'm shocked we didn't get one Pittsburgh caller today. I really am, because I know there's a bunch of Steeler fans in the Delaware Valley. So just to give you a sample of how different their language is, it's all about dialect, right?
Yeah.
You don't understand what the hell they're talking about in different dialects. So their version of yous, like we say yous, you guys, is yins.
What do they say?
Where yins going tonight? Like we would say, where yous going tonight?
Yeah, they say
yins.
Yins?
Y-I-N-Z.
Where's that come from?
And that's why they're called yinsers. I don't know. It's used in parts of Appalachia, which I don't know. They have this. It's more. I don't know. Their dialect is more of a hillbilly thing. I can't figure it out. So they'll again. I told you they don't pronounce W's. So they'll say the word D-O-W-N as Don, and the T-O-W-N as ton, and J-A-W-N John as they would pronounce John. And steel is still, and house is has, and you go all the way down the list. They say pop for soda, they say croissants for croissant. They say this is one of my favorites, jagoff. They say jagoff.
Can you say that on the radio? I guess.
Well, that's what they say.
Gonna find out.
And they go, and then they say, buggy. Buggy is a shopping cart.
Yeah, I don't get that one either.
Buggy. They call it buggy. Let's see. What another? Nebby. Nebby is a nosy or prying. Yins are nebby. Would be used in a sentence. It's weird, man.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I don't get. Do they say creek or crick?
They say. Wait, hold a second. Let me find out. Yeah, I think they say creek. They don't say crick. We say crick. Well, no, they say crick. They also say crick. That's one thing we have in common with them. 610-632-0975. We're back into this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Birds Against the World. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs. Veterans exposed to toxins while serving at home or abroad may be eligible for VA care or disability payments. Apply now at choose.va.gov. We had ESPN's Tim McManus on at the start of the 1 o'clock hour. He gave us a little bit of an update from practice, and it seems like the messaging for the Birds going into this weekend against the Steelers is that everything drama-related as it comes to them this week was from the outside, and it's the Birds against the world.
An intentional messaging as if this was media created, not Brandon Graham and A.J. Brown created. So they're using like everybody's talking at us, but here we are rallying together type of vibe out here, Mike.
We'll see if the rallying together leads to a victory on Sunday against the Steelers team that comes in at 10-3. The Battle of Pennsylvania, 4:25 at Lincoln Financial Field as the Eagles try to win their 10th straight game and set a franchise record on Sunday. Tonight in South Philly, the 76ers host the Pacers at 7 o'clock. The Sixers have won 4 of 5. They'll be without Dembona and Caleb Martin tonight. You can hear the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And last night, the Flyers won 4-1 over the Red Wings behind 4 goals from Scott Lawton. They'll be back in action tomorrow in Minnesota against the Wild. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
He catches me when I'm unprepared here.
All cold down along the beach. Winds whipping down the boardwalk. Hey, Ben! You all know what time it is? Christmas time! What? Huh?
Oh, Christmas time.
You guys all been good.
You guys all been good and
Practicing real hard.
Yeah.
Clarence, you've been rehearsing real hard. So Santa, buy your new saxophone.
Everybody out there been good or what?
Oh, that's not many.
You guys in trouble out here.
Well,
you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not cry.
There you go, Ray. You're catching me off guard with that. But I'll tell you what, but this weekend,
it's all cold down along the beach.
Why we have a cold
week? Winds whipping down the boardwalk.
What's the weather on game day? Is it going to be a cold day?
Going to be cold, Bill.
all right. All right. I forgot one thing. And that's Schmidt. And, oh, God, I can't believe I neglected this. So I'm watching the Schmidt documentary last night. And at the end of the documentary, who pops in but my old partner, Steve Fredericks, interviewing Michael Jack Schmidt.
That was in the documentary?
He was in the documentary with the handlebar mustache, like Steve-O back in the day with the handlebar mustache.
That's great.
It was awesome.
That is cool.
He used to call me Michael, and I noticed that he called Schmidt Michael. He had this Michael thing.
Was it a good interview?
No, it was just a quick clip. He had asked him one question. It was just a quick hit. It wasn't the whole interview. But it was. I miss him. I see him and I go, oh man, that dude was the greatest.
Wait, so how long was that show on? The two of you, the S&M show, right?
6 years.
Everybody I talked to says that was a phenomenal show.
We had good chemistry, and I don't know how we did it, but we did. It was just we had a natural chemistry. I was the young wise guy punk, and he was the seasoned veteran, and he just let me be an idiot.
Wait, what years was that? You remember?
92 to 98, I guess.
Yes, that's
or
probably,
91 to 97, somewhere.
Yeah, that's probably why I don't remember it. Cause I was too young. Ray wasn't even born yet. But everyone says that was a great show.
Here's what he used to do all the time. Because people, you go, all right, let's go to Josh and Giuliana, and Josh goes, hey, how you guys doing? And Steve-O would always say, don't ask us how we're doing. We're doing fine here. He would always say that. It's like he was perturbed. Like, you're wasting my time by saying how we're doing. It doesn't matter how we're doing. You called in.
Yeah. Everybody in the YouTube chat saying the same thing. It was the best show.
All right, Jalen Hurts. I forgot to bring this up, but he went third person yesterday.
What did he say?
He goes, it's about the team. I don't care how it looks. It's kind of my game, and I think that's something people have to accept. It's going to look how Jalen Hurts wants it to look.
Oh, he did drop third person.
But he's going to win. But he went third person on everybody. I've never heard him go third person.
I will say, though, and we've talked about this before, that Jalen is robotic at times. Mm-hmm. This may have been his best media availability. It seemed very genuine. He opened up a little bit, as much as you're going to get from Hurts. Mm-hmm. But I thought he handled it well. I thought AJ handled it well. Sirianni handled it well. Ray's been playing some of what Jordan Mailata said at his updates. I think that they handled it as good as you possibly could in light of the firestorm that was set off by BJ. Did you listen to Jalen in its entirety, or were you too woozy?
No. I listened to it. Yeah, they all said the right things. BG misspoke. He knows it. I thought that was pretty honest. You don't do that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure, I said this yesterday, I'm sure the Eagles, being an $8 billion company, had their PR staff say, look, this is the message we're going to reflect, but I thought it came off as authentic. I did.
And again, I think it's great. I really do. I know people go, that's a media creation. Well, guess what? If it's a media creation, I think it gives them some extra incentive. All right, let's go to Larry in Jersey. Larry, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Larry.
Michael, how are you?
How are you, Larry?
Mike, I go back. I used to bartend at Engine 46 Steakhouse.
Oh, that was one of our remotes.
Yes, I love you guys. But I do have a little bit of a situation with you right now, if you don't mind me saying so.
What happened?
Well, you've always been a man of the people. And that's one of your strong suits, and we all appreciate that very much. However, if you can make a young kid's day or an elder statesman's day by sending a message, Happy Holidays, you trying to charge them for that?
No. I am sending him the Christmas card.
Right, you're sending him the Christmas card.
Yeah.
The cameo, Mike. Cameo? Come on, Mike. You shouldn't be.
Dude, I'm a businessman. I'm a businessman, too. I'm trying to make a couple extra dollars.
Time is money, Larry.
Why do you think I'm going to give greetings for free? I don't have time for that.
Well, then you do the ones you can do, and do the ones
I give you 4 hours of my heart every day. You want something extra?
Mike, you're compensated for those 4 hours. Come on. Seriously, I love you to.
Are you suggesting that I should give cameos for free?
No, I'm suggesting you don't go on Cameo at all.
Cameo came to me.
Well,
they said, "Would you be interested?" And I go, "Yeah, why not? Everybody's doing them now."
Right,
yeah, I get like 3 people have asked me for cameos. Come on, Larry.
Right, you're different than everybody else. That's why we listen to y'all for those 4 hours.
My price is very low, by the way, compared to other cameos. Yeah.
And you give people their money's worth. I
give their money's worth.
Yeah.
Well, consider donating a portion of it to charity or something, please. Dude, I
wrote a children's book on a dog, right? Whatever proceeds I get from that, 50% go to the shelters.
Right.
All right.
Come on, Mike. Think about it, please.
I'm not with you, Larry. I'm not with you on this one.
Larry's slamming me.
Well, the thing is that Cameo also gives people availability to you. We're not going to give your cell phone number out on the air and say, hey, reach out to me if you want a personalized video.
It's a way station, really.
So Cameo allows people to connect. I don't think that's a violation. And from my understanding, MBD from our YouTube chat just bought one.
Oh, he did?
Yes, he did.
For Christmas holiday season?
And I think
Happy holidays to the MBG family?
Well, no, I think he bought it from you for somebody else that may be listening right now through the glass.
Oh, okay. Oh, God. Oh, he bought one for me to give to Ray?
That's what he says in the chat. And I believe him because he's giving me the price and what it is with taxes and fees. So I'm pretty sure he bought it.
Happy holidays, Mike.
How much was it? Because the price varies. I don't set the price.
So he said
they set the price.
It was $75 plus taxes and fees made it $86, is what he said. So, but MBD,
I've done some cameos for $36. I don't know. They set a price and it comes out. I don't know.
I'm very curious though. What MBD
they get a proceed of it.
I'm curious what he's asking you to do though. I'm sure it's not going to be from MBD's comments.
I can't imagine it's anything
I
good.
reserve the right to refuse as well. It's like
Something tells me that's getting refused.
I don't have to do a cameo for people if that,
MBD, is he going to refuse? Let me know in the chat.
It's got Dave on his cell. Dave, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Dave.
How you doing, Mike?
What's up, Dave?
Hey, I'm from Pittsburgh, and I just wanted to say there's really no rivalry between the Steelers and the Eagles in that town. They just don't play each other enough.
No, they don't, and that's a shame. They should be in the same conference.
The last time anybody cared was the O.J. Simpson Bowl, if you remember that, like '68.
Yeah, when they lost.
Philadelphia blew that by winning 2 games when Buffalo ended up 112-1.
Yeah.
So
that's another dark day in Philadelphia sports history because the Eagles Buffalo Bills wound up with O.J. Simpson. Although, when you think about it now, did we really lose out?
In the long run.
In the long run, did we really lose out?
He would have had a great NFL career here, but other than that.
If you look at his career, he had like 3 or 4 really good years. It wasn't like he was there for 12 or 15 years. But anyway, what I was going to say is
no rivalry with the Steelers.
I've watched the Steelers games enough this year, and I've watched the Eagles games this year, and I think that if the Steelers played the best that they could play and the Eagles played the best that they could play, the Eagles are going to win. The Steelers are just not that good.
I think the Eagles are a better team. I mean, that's why they're 5.5-point favorite. That's not a 3-point favorite. That's 5.5. Right. That's a definitive favored line.
And even if Pickens was playing, it wouldn't make that much difference.
Are you a Yinzer, or you're a Pittsburgh guy?
I'm from Pittsburgh,
and you moved to civilization. Yeah. Let's give him applause. They give you applause. He moved to civilization. Dave. Isn't this a much better city? Come on, Dave.
I don't know Philadelphia that well. I'm in Boyertown.
He's in Boyertown. Did you hear what he just said? He's in Boyertown,
not town. Is there a W in there, Dave?
There was no W.
Yeah. And there's like small pockets of people that speak like that.
Pockets.
And I'm sure
Did you hear
there's
that?
Pockets
Pockets?
of people in Philadelphia that say things that
yeah, but not like
people in
Pittsburgh.
wouldn't understand.
Yeah, see, Boyertown is pretty country. So you're right. You are removed from the city.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway. Okay.
All right, man. You got it.
That was a good call, though.
Yeah. There's pockets in Boyertown.
So he said if they play each other and they're both playing their A game, the Eagles would win. I think we all agree with that.
Yeah, the Eagles are a better team than the Steelers right now. The Steelers are on a roll. I get it. You know, Russell Wilson is an okay quarterback at this stage of his life. He's not, crazy good. Their offense is not crazy. They don't run the ball that way, that well. You know, Najee runs it sometimes, and sometimes he doesn't.
But Russ, I believe, is throwing 256 a game. Jalen's only throwing 200 a game.
Yeah.
But I just don't know.
I see Russ throwing a couple picks in this game.
He's only thrown 3 on the season.
I know. But I think they're going to get to him somehow. He's going to throw a couple picks. That's why I like the Eagles. I'm not even concerned. Usually I'll get some concern. I'm not concerned with this game.
I'm sorry to distract from the task at hand here.
What do you got?
But you got me now just going down Cameo and seeing what some of these prices are.
Ridiculous.
Who's paying $100 for Charlie Batch?
There you go. Charlie Batch charges $100. I'm less than 100.
Buddy Boeheim, $100.
Who?
Buddy Boeheim. Jim Boeheim's son.
You know what? Look up my buddy Brian Scalabrine.
All right.
Who makes he must make 6 figures doing cameos, because I've heard them talk about it on his NBA show with my pal Frank Isola. Scalabrine does cameos like up the wazoo.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
What's
he's
his
got
price?
A tiered package here.
Oh, tiered package.
It starts at $95.
Starts at $95?
Yes.
And goes up to what?
Or you could get a text message for 99 cents. That seems
yeah.
kind of.
I'm telling you, he makes a lot more than 95 on his cameos, because I've heard them talk about it.
Ray, have you ever used Cameo before?
I have, once.
So when COVID shut everything down, we had to do our family Christmas. We did it at separate houses, but then we jumped on Zoom, like everybody from their own house. So I had one done by Brandon Graham. And BG wished everybody a Merry Christmas. The problem is my mom's maiden name is DeStefano.
He couldn't pronounce it?
He pronounced it DeStefano, which is a common mistake.
Yeah, that's all right. How long did he go with that message?
It was about a minute.
All right.
It was about a minute. He did it from his car at the NovaCare complex.
That's good. Some people only go do 30 seconds.
Yeah, some people do.
I give you a good 2 minutes. Now, again, I'm very limited. Who outside of this area wants me? Nobody. Now, Charlie Batch, maybe somebody from the Detroit Lions or the Steelers or wherever you went, Central Michigan. He's got an expanded network. I don't have expanded network. I make like $1.380.
Yeah. It is cool finding the unique ones. Like I had one for my dad done. Kids in the Hall was a sketch comedy show back in the day.
That. Yeah, I remember Kids in the Hall.
I had Kevin McDonald do one in character for my dad's birthday. It was phenomenal. He crushed it. He did like a 3 or 4 minute skit. So you got to find the good ones, including Mikey Misses.
All right, let's go to the text board. We got a lot of text. First of all, who are people saying you look like? I've got it nailed. It's that guy, that writer on Saturday Night Live that do that little threesome skit every now and then. That guy looks exactly like Ray. What else did the text board say?
This texter says definitely looks more like McDavid than the writer. I think they're confusing that with Conor McGregor. I'm not saying Conor McGregor. I'm saying Conor McDavid.
Yeah, I think people may think McGregor, but there's no chance.
I don't look anything like
Nobody
McGregor.
knows who the hockey player in Edmonton looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only one of the best players in the NHL.
Right, but he's in Edmonton. All right, text on Primanti brothers. We had a lot of text on Primanti today.
Yes, it was. Wherever this text went, they said that the only thing that sandwich reminds them of is a national vacation trying to eat the hamburger helper.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, what was
remember that hamburger helper?
I remember what hamburger helper is, but what was that about?
It was from the. Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, nope, wrong. I don't even know where this text went.
I don't know what he's talking about there.
The hamburger. You don't remember the hamburger helper scene in National Vacation? Okay.
No.
Well, we'll move right past it then.
All right. Text now. Let's get to the text on the game plan.
Yeah,
last that one.
Text here is don't change anything this week. Continue to do what you do well. Don't let yourself get out of your game against a good Steelers defense.
Except the first 2 plays, one of them has to be a slant to A.J. Brown. And if I don't see it, I'm going to lose my mind.
Now, what do you think the link does? If the opening play is a slant to AJ, do you think they give the Bronx cheer?
Absolutely, they'll go crazy.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for closing arguments.
Now, closing arguments on the Mike Missanelli Show. Brought to you by Lowenthal and Abrams Injury Attorneys. Injured in an accident, call 800-876-LAWYER or visit LowenthalAbrams.com.
Oh, a lot of state history in this rivalry. Steelers at the Eagles. At one point, these two franchises way back in the day, they combined to form the Steagles. The Steelers coming in hot, 7 of 8. The Eagles with 9 in a row. And they have conquered the Steelers 10 straight times in Philly since 1965, which means nothing. Saquon Barkley, 100-plus in 7 of his last 8 games. Are the Steelers going to stop him? I doubt it, even though the numbers say they hold running backs down pretty well. Are they going to stop Jaylen Hurts with their pass defense? Well, maybe, but he's only going to throw 25 times anyway. And a lot of them are going to be the A.J. Brown with this resurgent offense, making it a point to get the ball to A.J. Brown. So I see the Eagles winning this game and covering the 5.5. 5.5 is a healthy line. Vegas is telling you that the Eagles win this by a touchdown or more, and I'm believing it. And so the Eagles will roll on to win 10 in a row, which means they don't have another loss left on the schedule, and they would have to win 17 in a row to win the Super Bowl. I know that seems daunting, but I'd rather be in that position than not. Billy?
I hate to do this, Michael. I hate to do it. I'm usually Mr. Positive when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. I am not feeling good about this football game. They have won 9 in a row. I think there's a reason why the Eagles franchise has never won 10 in a row, because it's a very difficult thing to do. And I think the Steelers are going to come in here and focus on trying to limit the run, and I think they're going to be successful. I think you're going to see the first defense being able to limit the run. Not stop it, but limit it. And I think they're going to do just enough offensively to win this game. I got a close one, but I have the Steelers pulling it out 23-20. Don't hate me, Philly.
No,
fans.
I don't think the people are going to hate you, because I think you welcome that, because that makes them more to win a Super Bowl. That would actually help them to win a Super Bowl.
It wouldn't be the end of the world if they lost, because I've said that before, the 17 straight. But how they lose could be an issue. If they lose a close game and the Eagles play well on both sides of the football, no big deal. But if they lose a game where the offense looks inept or the passing offense struggles and Jaylen struggles, well, now I'm going to have some concerns. But I'm picking a 23-20 Steelers victory.
All right, we'll see what happens. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll be back to talk about the Steelers and Eagles. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll talk to you next Monday.
Like everybody's talking at us, but here we are rallying together type of vibe out here.